On July 27th, I gave everything I had for 1 hour in 95-degree temperature, and I did it for one thing. I lost 10 pounds in 1 hour, and I did it for one thing. I fought through pain and exhaustion, through every fiber in my body, and I did it for one thing. I did it for my love of this sport. This isn't entertainment to me. This isn't just a hobby of mine. This is my life. Those tears you saw were very real and straight from the heart. This belt signifies my love for the art of professional wrestling, for the sport of professional wrestling, for this way of life that has brought me to a higher level of respect, discipline, and honor. AJ Styles, I have the utmost respect for you. You have taken me to my limits, but I didn't give my heart and my soul to this sport, to this belt, to just let it go from my grasp. AJ Styles, when Ring of Honor invades Boston and I make the first ever Ring of Honor title defense, I will prove to you and everyone else that it is not the size of the fighter, but the size of the fight he will bring. AJ Styles, Boston, New England. All you can do is be ready.
Where's XL?
I don't know. What do you get tonight?
I want a value.
Which one?
Ale?
I don't know.
You wanna get some water?
Hold on.
Come on, drive.
My bad.
You dick!
Who the hell?
Hey guys, I got some water here. By the way, you're wrestling tonight.
Who cares, man? We're just here to have fun.
Okay, cool.
You okay? Let's get out of here.
Okay, hold on. I'm taking pictures.
See you later.
Later. Oh, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another Ring of Honor videotape. I am Big 80's Donnie B with Steve Carino, the king of old school, and right now we are set for the event that happened the first time Ring of Honor outside of Philadelphia. We are at the sold-out Americal Civic Center in Wakefield, Mass, just 10 miles outside of Boston. There has to be over 500 people here, Steve.
And Donnie B, this is the largest crowd in Ring of Honor's short history.
And right now, the Amazing Red against Quiet Storm. A nice lockup. Quiet Storm with an armbar and the Amazing Red. And these two men know each other very well, Steve. Red with the kip up right there reverses the armbar.
That's right. These two have trained together. They ride together. They do everything together. The Amazing Red and Quiet Storm have wrestled each other dozens and dozens of times over the last few years. These two know each other more than brothers. And you're going to see an exciting match right here.
Well, both men jockeying for position thus far earlier in the matchup. Quiet Storm with the better of Red right there. A nice roll through. Red shoots Quiet Storm into the ropes. Quiet Storm off with an arm drag. Red is off his feet. The Amazing Red and Quiet Storm move at a quicker pace than just about anyone we can see here in Ring of Honor. And right there, a nice backflip by Red, who gets the lateral press on Quiet Storm. Only a 2 count. These two men are moving like lightning.
That's right. And you know, the thing that impresses me about Red over the last 2 years is the man has improved so much of his basic wrestling. When he first entered the sport of professional wrestling, he was a luchador. He did all the high-flying moves, but now he's putting it all together with the mat skills. He's putting the lucha libre with some definite strong style skills, and this kid has a huge future, but so does Quiet Storm.
Quiet Storm right now a little bit dazed and confused, looking out at the audience, figuring himself, what do I have to do, Steve Carino? What do I have to do to get the advantage on the Amazing Red? And right there, he figured it out. A nice boot to the midsection, kicking the Amazing Red back into the corner. He's stomping a mud hole in the Amazing Red, and the Amazing Red is down right now, and Quiet Storm is in charge.
And Quiet Storm knows that Red has made his name as a single star after that incredible match with Loki at the road to the title, and Jay Briscoe at the Era of Honor begins. So Quiet Storm knows that he's got his hands full tonight.
Nice head scissors by Quiet Storm. Oh, a nice roll through leg dive takedown by the Amazing Red with a front wheel spin kick to the face of Quiet Storm. Quiet Storm is out in the middle of the floor. Here goes the Amazing Red, and he flies over the top rope tope on the Quiet Storm. Quiet Storm is down. Red is down. Both of these men are on the outside.
That's right. 90% of the time when you roll out of the ring, that's where you can get a breather, a break. But when you're wrestling the Amazing Red, when you roll outside, the Amazing Red's going to come after you and he's going to stay on you. This is what Red does to succeed. He stays on the man through the whole match. He's got Quiet Storm down. Quiet Storm still isn't getting a chance to breather. As you see, a big kick right to the solar plexus.
Those kicks to the back rear kidney of Quiet Storm do one thing, Steve. They soften your man up. They empty the gas tank, and that is exactly what Red is trying to do. Empty the gas tank of Quiet Storm as he throws Quiet Storm back under the bottom rope. Red in full control of this match right now, hoping to pull out some of that high-powered offense that he's noted for. A few peppering right hands in the corner. Quiet Storm whipped across the ring, followed in by the Amazing Red. The Amazing Red is a house of fire, Steve Carino. Nice spin wheel jump thrust kick to the throat of Quiet Storm. Quiet Storm seems to be out on his feet.
Donnie B, if you watch the Amazing Red right now, the kicks to the back, the kicks to the throat, the man is going after the breathing of Quiet Storm, because if you blow the man up, he's not going to be able to match you in high flying. And the Amazing Red has a strategy right now, and it's working.
Well, the Amazing Red knows that in order to be successful in this match, he has to get Quiet Storm off of his vertical base. He has to get him horizontal on the middle of the mat. He has to come off the top rope with something high impact, and right there, what was high impact is that slap to the face. These two men going toe for toe, and I'd have to give the strength advantage to Quiet Storm, because if you get him PO'd, we have seen what he can do in the middle of the ring.
The kid has a temper. Quiet Storm has shown in the past that he is quite a temper, but when he gets all his temper, unlike most wrestlers who get weak and, sloppy when the temper flares, Quiet Storm gets stronger and stronger.
Nice mafia kick there by Red, who was countering the roaring forearm by Quiet Storm. Quiet Storm with a lockup, almost going for a T-bone type suplex, but Red rolls out of it on his feet. Quiet Storm with a midsection thrust kick. Quiet Storm off the ropes. Oh, big power neck breaker onto Red. And Red in the middle of the ring, he holds on, Steve, holding on for that neck breaker drop, maybe setting him up for that gory driver that he's known for. Right there, if he hits this, it could be over, and he did. Red is in a lot of trouble.
2 consecutive moves to the neck. Red is down. Quiet Storm's got to turn him over, hook the leg, and go for the pin right now.
Quiet Storm seems to be a little out of it, a little dazed and confused, but Red is in the middle of the ring. 1, 2. Oh, I thought we almost had a 3 count there, Steve Carino. Quiet Storm Storm seems to be a little pissed off.
Pissed off may be a good word. Inexperienced may be another. He should have hooked the leg of the Amazing Red. The Amazing Red has been chalking up great matches ever since Ring of Honor began. You can't beat the man unless you hook the leg.
Well, anyone that thinks that the Amazing Red was going to take this match lightly does not know Ring of Honor. They do not know what the Amazing Red is all about. Wow! That's an amazing move. A jumping sunset powerbomb flip right there is the best way I could describe it, Steve. I've never seen anything like that. The Amazing Red, I don't know who was worse for wear, the man giving or taking, because both of those men seem to land right in the brunt of their shoulders.
Quiet Storm's working on Red's neck. 3 moves now right to the back of the head on the neck of the Amazing Red, trying to wear him down. And now he is signaling that he's going up top.
And everybody knows Quiet Storm, very reminiscent of Chris Benoit, the way he attacks a body part, also known for that flying diving headbutt off the top rope. He may be setting up Red right now for that very maneuver. We'll have to wait and see if it's successful. Quiet Storm, into a diamond cutter type move by Red. He was going for the headbutt, but Red reversed it.
Red may have reversed it, but you see Quiet Storm put his elbows up a little bit, and you see it. He caught him, but Red got the best of that one. He's going up. Could it be the Red Star Press? Shoot, what? Oh my God, what was that?
That was the best way I can describe it, is the infrared off the top rope, Steve. The Red Star Press and a successful 3 count for Red. What a hell of a match by Quiet Storm.
Red pulls out something every match that just amazes me, and I think that's where he got his name, the Amazing Red.
The flying face buster followed up by the infrared, and then the Red Star Press was enough to give Red the victory on this night. But don't cut Quiet Storm short. On any given night, he could get the victory next time.
You're right, Donnie B. These guys will see each other in the ring again. Maybe Ring of Honor, maybe down the line. When these two get in the ring, you know you're going to have a great match.
Well, now, Steve, it's time to follow the Code of Honor. And for those of viewers out there who might not be familiar with it, would you like to refresh us what the Code of Honor is?
The Code of Honor, quite simply, after the match, both combatants must shake hands or they are in violation of the Code of Honor.
And these two men uphold the Code of Honor. They're all about honor. Red and Quiet Storm, after a match like that, these two men, they should be feeling honor right now to be putting on a performance like that in front of these Wakefield fans.
2 great athletes, 2 great sportsmen, Donnie B.
A nice show of embrace, a nice show of respect.
Wait a second! Who just hit the ring?
Whoa! Steve Carino, these gentlemen have hit the ring. I believe that's the group known as Special K. They've hit the ring and the carnage has ensued.
I see Izzy, I see Elax, I see Brian XL. Donnie B, there's a 4th man in there.
Dixie's in the ring too.
Unbelievable. Now it's 4 on 2. Elax laughing like the jerk that he is. Brian XL, always a cheap shot artist, a criminal in real life.
These kids must be on something, Steve Carino, in order to come in here and disrespect the Code of Honor. Oh, a nice front driver by Brian XL onto Red. That hatred stems from many shows ago. Brian XL still looking for revenge on Red. And these jerks, these jackasses have to be on something. These goofballs just came in here and disrespected this company. They disrespected this building. And more importantly, they disrespected Quiet Storm and Red.
But you see, the SAT, Chris Devine, made the save there before there was more damage done to the Amazing Red and Quiet Storm.
Unbelievable.
The Special K have no respect for anything. In fact, they're going to a Boston area rave after tonight's show. I mean, these guys don't even take the sport seriously.
These young punks have no regard for this sport, the industry, their opponents, or anything else. They have one goal in mind. When is the next party and how quick can we get there?
Quite simply, Donnie B, these 4 are punks, and I don't like them.
Right here, it seems that the SAT are looking for a measure of revenge. It's going to be the SAT versus members of the Special K. A nice knife-edge chop.
It looks like we got an impromptu match. You got Joel Maximo, the heavier of the SAT. He's going nuts right now on Dixie.
That's Izzy in the middle of the ring right now, Steve. Let me correct you. Izzy in the Maximo squaring off a nice whip in the ropes. Izzy up and over into a Samoan-type drop. Nice arm drag roll through. This match could be fast-paced. Oh, nice Yakuza kick to the back of the brain there by Izzy on Joel. Nice front chancery lock. Up and over. Oh, straight down on his head. Izzy, something Izzy's going to be painful after that one.
Izzy may be down, but Joel Maximo's got to stay on him. He's got to capitalize on that big move that he just did.
Joel just dumped him on his head and right outside the ring. And now, in the middle of the ring, Jose Maximo trading blows. Joel outside the ring. These men are going at a fast pace. These men are giving it all out. Chris Devine whipping, I believe that's Dixie in the middle of the ring.
You're right, it is Dixie. I had Dixie and Izzy confused. Either way, they're both jerks.
Izzy, Dixie, Dixie, Izzy. Reads the same to me, Steve, but these men are all definitely on something to get into the ring with the SAT and Chris Devine. And Chris Devine snatches in a suplex and drops Dixie head first.
And here's a kid that's been on a hot streak lately, Chris Devine. When Chris Devine comes to the ring, he means business.
A lot of people might overlook Chris Devine, but I haven't, Steve. Chris Devine, one of the most accomplished young grapplers in the sport today, a professional in and outside the ring, and Brian XL whips Jose Maximo off the ropes. Jose Maximo up on the shoulders. Brian XL tilt-a-whirl, roll through, wheelbarrow, arm drag, all with me not getting out of breath, Steve. Roll through, front wheel kick, up and over, head scissor takedown. This match is non-stop. I can't even call this thing. Brian XL, whoa, over the top rope.
Donnie B, I am so proud of you right now. This impromptu match is scrambles rules, meaning when the ring empties, others can come in the ring without tags, kind of like Lucha Libre. And I have to say, man, you are something else.
Thank you, Steve Corino, but what was something else was that dive just there by Brian XL onto everybody outside the ring. These guys will take a shot to give a shot. They definitely have to be on something.
Well, you look at Brian XL. Everybody knows Brian XL's a known criminal. Now you look at Dixie here. Dixie's going to put his body on the line here.
Dixie on everybody outside the ring, like I just said. Izzy right before Dixie just now. These kids are insane. They're jumping on each other outside the ring. I think these guys must be mentally disturbed or something, Steve.
They don't care about the rules. They don't care about their bodies. These kids just don't care. And you know what? That's going to cost them here at Ring of Honor.
Chris Devine and the SAT seem to have matters in hand outside the ring on the three members of Special K, while the one goofball Elax is in the corner laughing. Brian XL sizing up the other competitors. Oh! Flying Tiger star press outside the ring by Brian XL, and he took out everybody.
You know, say what you want about Brian XL. I don't like the kid. You don't like the kid. None of the boys like the kid, but the kid is talented.
And Elax going up to the top rope right now. What is he thinking?
He's very graceful up on the top rope.
Oh, whoa. Nice front dive there by Elax, and he once again takes out everybody outside the ring. These guys are non-stop bowling pins.
But Donnie B, notice he took out 3 of his own members there.
Well, normally I'd say they might be a little disgruntled with each other in the back, but they're probably too, you know what, to even think about it, Steve. These guys are definitely touched. Oh, nice standing front star press by Brian XL. Say what you want about Brian XL. He's a hell of a competitor. Everybody knows the history between him and Red. Long-running rival, Steve, but Brian XL, when called upon, can get the job done.
He can't get the job done, but the kid lacks focus. The kid, if he just get his brain together and get that head together, he could be a major superstar.
Front merry-go-round flip onto the Joel Maximo. Joel kicks out of it right there. Only a 2 count. We are informed by referee Hansen. And this match right now, Steve, seemed to have been in favor of the SAT, but right now seems to be sliding towards Special K.
Well, I'll tell you what, the guy that has the toughest job is Hansen with these scramble rules. Hansen doesn't know who's in the ring at any amount of time. You know, Joel Maximo and Dixie could fall out at any time. 2 different members could come in. It's very confusing, but very entertaining.
Joel whipped into the corner by Dixie. 2 front shoves by Dixie onto Joel, the bigger of the 2 men, and a reverse twisting, roaring forearm by Dixie that just about decapitated one half of the SAT. A lateral press, only a 2 count, Steve, and thus far, Special K has been impressive.
And I think it was only a 2 count for the fact that he caught the elbow right around the chest area, and right there an enziguri by Izzy, then a neck breaker. Joel Maximo's in big trouble right now.
Let me tell you something, if these kids are on something, I suggest a hell of a lot more for the other guys in the industry, because these guys are wrestling machines right now. They are putting on a clinic of technique that I haven't seen in a while. For 3 young kids, they're giving the SAT and Chris Devine a more seasoned trio, all they can hold, and a nice gory special, a Guerrero special stretch right there by one of the members of the SAT, I believe it's Joel, and Jose into the ring to counter Brian XL. What is that, Steve Corino? I've never seen that before in my life.
I've never seen this before in my life, but look at the strength of Joel Maximo. He's holding up 2 men right now. 2 men around 170 pounds each. That's 340 pounds on Joel Maximo.
The best way I can describe that is the human taffy machine. That's what I'm going to call it, Steve Carino. And if the internet marks out there don't like it, screw them. If you have a name for that, email it to me because I have no idea what that was called.
The human taffy machine sounds good to me. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to put it in my book. Donnie B says, human taffy machine.
A nice knife edge by Jose Maximo takes down Dixie in the middle of the ring. Brian XL getting another mud hole stomped in him by Jose. Dixie whips Joel off into the ropes. Joel up and over. Dixie slides through the legs. Oh, the best way to describe that is a kick to the balls by Dixie, who hits him with a roaring tornado DDT, and Joel is down.
You know, a good kick to the clown will keep you down for a long time. As you see, Joel Maximo is in big problem. But Chris Devine with a tiger suplex right there. Luckily for Dixie, he rolled through, and he's now near the ropes. You can't pin the man when he's on the ropes. But, oh my goodness.
Izzy with an absolute devastating kick to the face. I haven't seen that since the old Street Fighter video game, Steve. I didn't even think it was possible. Double underhook, pinwheel, powerbomb, face slam, thingamajiggy number 2 by Jose. Oh my God, Steve, that was devastating.
What's devastating is that you are the man tonight. I am just so impressed with your calling of the matches. Jose Maximo in the corner. Brian XL follows through.
Brian XL up and over, catches the feet around the head. Jose down to the middle of the ring. Only a 2 count, Ref Hansen, but that was a close one, Steve. That was the closest we've had thus far. And a nice thrust kick right there to the face of Jose. Jose down once again. Joel taking Brian XL up, over. Oh, crunches him straight down. That'll straighten out the vertebrae.
And this pure chaos that's going on in the ring right now, Donnie B, I'm having a hard time following who's legal. Well, anybody's legal because it's scramble rules.
Scramble rules are in effect, and Dixie right now whips Jose across the middle of the ring. Jose up on the top rope. This team of Special K has been very impressive so far, Steve. I can tell you. Oh, nice front thrust kick, bottom style, right there to the throat of Dixie. He might have trouble breathing after that. And Izzy getting loaded by Joel Maximo up to the top rope as well.
Look, you got 2 guys loaded up. What do we have here? You got to be impressed with the strength of Joel Maximo in this match.
Joel showing a good display of strength in this match, but as equally impressive is the teamwork distributed by Special K.
No.
Setting up. Oh! I guess a double power bomb there by Joel Maximo, dumping both members of Special K in the middle of the ring. This match has been very impressive thus far as the SAT goes, but I've been equally impressed by Special K. And there's that little goofball Elax in the middle of the ring. And what's that kid's story?
With an IQ of 45, I'd say the kid is pretty damn near retarded.
A very clever scientific assumption by the man to my left, Steve Carino, but what is also an assumption is that Chris Devine is about to inflict pain onto Elax. Elax on the top rope, double underhook, face slam, full Nelson drop right there in the middle of the ring.
That's gotta be it. You gotta pin the man. Get up and pin the man, Chris Devine.
Chris Devine, a house of fire, also known for a lot of high-impact suplexes. Right there, Elax felt the brunt of that one. Steve Carino, Brian XL, who's been crotched on the top rope, and we know what that could be a setup for.
That's right. The Spanish Fly, they're setting up the SAT, the innovators of tag team wrestling for the millennium. And the Spanish Fly, that could be all.
Spanish Fly and a member of the Special K, Steve Carino. We have a 1, a 2, and a 3 count.
And that's it.
He is victorious.
The team at SAT and Chris Devine are winners here in Boston.
Steve Carino, that could very well be the end of Brian XL's career here in the Ring of Honor.
You know what? I hope it is. Get the kid out of here and back on the streets. Now let's see if the kid can muster up some, pride and get up and shake the hands of the SAT, Chris Devine. I don't care if it's scramble rules. It's still Ring of Honor, and you have to shake hands.
An incredible showing by the SAT.
Why don't you both go outside for a minute?
champion himself, Low-Ki.
Low-Ki, the ROH champion. He's coming. He's in Boston. He's ready. And Chris Devine is in big trouble.
These people in their seats clamoring right now for the appearance of Low-Ki, who's about to come out that curtain and answer exactly what Chris Devine just said.
As we know, Donnie B, Low-Ki lasted the longest in the Iron Man match. He is the Ring of Honor champion, and he's in Boston, and he's looking for a fight.
The Ring of Honor champion looks more focused and more intense than I have ever seen. He is here for a point. Low-Ki looks focused, Steve Corino. This man means business every time he steps into the ring.
Donnie B, if you talk to Low-Ki in the locker room or you see him out, he's always got the same demeanor. Intense. This kid is intense. He just eats, breathes, sleeps, pro wrestling, mixed martial arts, fighting. This guy is 100% dedicated, and I don't think I've ever seen an athlete so dedicated like Low-Ki is.
These two men adhering to the code of honor right there. Chris Devine shaking the head of Low-Ki, and a nice surprise knife edge, staggering Low-Ki off his feet into the ropes. Low-Ki whips Chris Devine into the ropes, and then goes to shoot the leg, up and over, kicks the leg right there. Chris Devine out, Low-Ki up in the middle of the ring, looking for one of those front kicks that just about decapitated Devine.
Right into the chest. It's great. Chris Devine just ducked. He's not going to take the big one. He's seen Low-Ki, but here there's a Kawada kick right to the face. Unbelievable. Chris Devine's taking. Wait a second. Chris Devine just grabbed his nose. I think Chris Devine may have suffered a broken nose courtesy of Low-Ki's Kawada kicks. Chris Devine is in big trouble right here, Donnie B.
Well, I can tell you this, Steve Corino, the title crush, if you thought those Kawada kicks were bad, that title crush will kill you. Right there, Chris Devine seems to be adamant. The Dragon Clutch Sleeper right there. Chris Devine may have no choice here, Steve Corino, but to tap. Chris Devine gave a valiant effort, but after the Kawada kicks, that was it. This match is over.
This match is over, but Chris Devine has nothing to be ashamed of. Low-Ki is probably the toughest man in Ring of Honor right now. Low-Ki is your winner.
Those of you in attendance in Boston tonight, for all of you watching your television sets at home, and for all the videotape buyers at RF Video Services, I've got just a little bit of bad news for you. You might have bought your ticket or turned on your set hoping to see the top talent in Ring of Honor, but the top talent of Ring of Honor, i.e. the fallen angel Christopher Daniels, is not here tonight. You see, while the show is going on in Boston, I'm in Japan, showing the world why I am the #1 wrestler in the world today. But not to worry. You see, members of the Prophecy will be in attendance, and you might even see a new member added to the Prophecy's ranks. But now I want to talk about Low-Ki. Low-Ki, ever since I've gotten to this federation, Ring of Honor has been trying to screw me over, and it seems like you are the point man, the main man of all my troubles. And after what happened at the 60-minute Iron Man match, the night I should have been given what's rightfully mine, the Ring of Honor Championship, once again I was screwed over, and it's all your fault. Well, let me tell you this. I don't forget, and I will not forgive. September 21st, when I return to Ring of Honor, that will be the night that the Prophecy takes over Ring of Honor. We will destroy the Code of Honor and rebuild it in our own image. So Ring of Honor, and you Low-Ki, you'll pay for that, because this is how the end begins.
Right now, Steve Carino, we are set for tag team action as the Christopher Street Connection with Allison Danger are stated to square off against Dunn and Marcos.
The most interesting tag team in Ring of Honor, the Christopher Street Connection. I mean, that's the only way I could really describe them, Donnie B.
Well, these men are oddly entertaining, but Marcos and Dunn, dressed appropriately tonight, I might add, a favorite of Big 80's Donnie B, were just met with two big right hands by the Christopher Street Connection. As I said before, Steve Carino, these men are all oddly entertaining to me.
Oddly entertaining. You know what's funny is that the crowd finds them mildly entertaining. You say oddly, I find mildly. I still think they're pretty strange.
The Christopher Street Connection whipping Marcos right now. Dunn is met with a big open hand slap to the eardrum, and I don't care who you are, that'll take you down like a ton of bricks. Right now, Dunn is in the middle of the ring. He is getting manhandled by one of the Christopher Street Connection, and not in a way that he will find to his liking.
Well, you never know nowadays, you know. But he's got him up. He's going, you know, this is an amazing thing here we see with the Christopher Street Connection. The diversity of Ring of Honor to allow these two alternative lifestyles.
You want to take that one, Steve?
No, not really.
As a member of the Christopher Street Connection, slithers across the body of Marcos.
Slithers is a good word. You know, I like to be the analyst of this crew, but slither was a great word.
Thank you. Overhead chop there on Marcos, who's in a world of hurt in the Christopher Street Connection in more ways than one, as the men with the pinstripe tights are all over the duo of Marcos and Dunn. And a beautiful snap suplex, a high elevated suplex, actually, I must correct myself, onto Marcos, who seems to be a little dazed and confused in this one as well.
Dazed and confused is a great adjective to describe these guys right now. Did you just see him grab his buttocks?
Does Howdy Doody have wooden balls? I saw it, Steve.
Oh,
nice
amazing here.
tilt-a-whirl neck drop there on Marcos.
But the Christopher Street Connection is showing great tag team, you know, teamwork right now. You're gonna have to forgive me for being a little shocked right here, because the most I've seen of the Christopher Street Connection is them getting pummeled by different tag teams. But these guys are doing the pummeling, and they're doing it pretty stiff.
Rainbow stripe forearm across the back of Marcos there, who's constantly getting pummeled by the members of the Christopher Street Connection. These guys mean business. As a matter of fact, Steve, this is the stiffest I've seen these two guys in a long time.
And you know what? These guys like it stiff. I don't know if Dunn and Marcus like it stiff. You like it stiff, Donnie?
Absolutely not.
And I don't like it stiff the way that they're doing it. I mean, I'll take a kick to the face every once in a while, but, you know, I prefer it not to be from, you know, two gay men.
Well, Marcos right there with a front wheel drive right into the face of the O of the Ring of Honor barrier there. He goes face first into the O, and he seems to enjoy it.
Well, he's got to make a tag right here to his partner. You get the Christopher Street Connection down, you get them off their game, you have a chance of beating them. And there's that hag, Allison Danger, who also is into the alternative lifestyle of the Christopher Street Connection.
And the tag there to Dunn, who comes in the ring. And big right hand there on both members of the Christopher Street Connection. Oh, scoots under and hits him with a nice full Nelson grasp. Oh, front face drop. I've never seen that move before. And hey, I think that rocked him like a hurricane.
You know what, Donnie? I was just about to say, Dunn and Marcus claim to be the top tag team in Ring of Honor, and I know you'd like their slogan because they will rock you like a hurricane.
Absolutely, Steve Carino. I love these two guys. Nice series of nice edge chops on the members of the Christopher Street Connection. They are chopping the bejesus out of these two men, and he just felt them in the boobies, Steve Carino.
No.
Oh my God. Where's the big red X when you need it?
Jeez,
front stomach kicks on both Dunn and Marcos. Dunn thrown over the top rope. Marcos up. What do we have here, Steve Carino? Marcos up, awaiting something by one of this Christopher Street Connection.
That could be it.
And,
That's the Game Basher. We've heard about it. We haven't seen it, but we've seen it now. That's the Game Bashers. I finally opened my eyes after the kiss. The Christopher Street Connection are your winners. And with that hag, Allison Danger, these three alternative lifestyles mean business.
Dunn and Marcos have officially been gay bashed here at Ring of Honor. fast right there. Front wheel kick by Scoot Andrews and Tobin down. Mike Tobin and the Boogie Knights. The Boogie Knights are here, Steve Carino, in Boston and Wakefield to prove New York's superiority to Boston.
Donnie, I would say that Mike Tobin didn't really get a good start, but Scoot Andrews is not wasting time. Brother knows that you don't get paid by the hour, and he's going for it real quick.
Well, Scoot Andrews whips Tobin across the ring into the opposite turnbuckle, follows him in with a reverse forearm, and Tobin up and over with the leg scissors. Scoot reverses it and back slam right there on Tobin in the mat. Scoot Andrews means business in this one, Steve.
And you know Tobin is generally a tag team wrestler with his partner who's out with a real bad injury from what I read and from what I've seen. A real bad injury, still in his wheelchair. Scoot Andrews knows that when you have a tag team wrestler that's used to having a partner around, you get him off his game. And Scoot Andrews knows that this is a chance for him to pick up an important win.
Well, Scoot right there looked like he was going for that big force of nature pile driver, but Tobin was very clever in the way he countered it and hit a front face slam, almost a reverse Russian leg sweep there on Scoot. And Scoot's in a little bit of trouble by Tobin. A nice dive off the top rope there, a nice keep up dive off the top. And Tobin with only a 1 count there. I think he's a little shocked. He thought he was going to get a 3 count right there on Scoot, but Scoot proved him wrong.
Tobin's got a very impressive springboard leg drop, but with a leg drop, you have to really bring that inner thigh in to meet the jaw into the throat area to really knock the wind out of your opponent.
And Tobin just went for another one, and Scoot did the clever thing. He scooted out of the way, no pun intended, whips Tobin off the rope, and a little miscommunication there. Tobin was going to duck under, but Scoot was very clever. He stepped in the way and said, boom, face first, reverse Samoan drop on Tobin. Scoot Andrews back in control of this match, Steve. Scoot Andrews looks impressive.
Yeah, the Black Nature Boy always looks impressive. He always comes in shape. You know, a very stand-up guy, a great guy, a guy I even like to hang out with. And there it is, force of nature.
The force of nature, that's got to be it.
And Tobin is toast.
Steve Carino, looks like we have a match right here. As you know, Prince Nana not able to make it tonight, and Xavier has come out and thrown down the gauntlet. He has challenged Scoot Andrews, saying, you did this to me, you've dominated me thus far in this feud, but tonight, let's put it all on the line. Let's do it once and for all. Let's let it all hang out. Xavier and Scoot Andrews right now in Wakefield, Massachusetts tonight.
Donnie, man, quite an interesting night so far. We've had a lot of guys in impromptu matches. You know, people want to settle scores here in Beantown. You know, you got a guy like Xavier, a stand-up guy, a real nice guy, and another nice guy, Scoot Andrews. These two don't hate each other. They have a professional rivalry. They both have 1 win apiece, and they both wanted to go into this rubber match. They know that if one of these guys walk out of here a victor, they're in title contention.
Nice kick there by Scoot Andrews. Yeah, nice thrust kick by Xavier, taking Scoot off his feet. Xavier going for the lateral press, only a 2 count. He did hook the leg there, but right now Scoot is a little too strong thus far in the match. And remember, Steve Carino, Scoot has already wrestled a semi-tight match against Mike Tobin. It wasn't that long, but it's still an extra match. Xavier is a little bit fresher, and Scoot Andrews seems to be a little rubber-legged right now, but that is Xavier in the middle of this ring. And yes, you were right. The winner of this has to be thought of as a #1 contender type role here at Ring of Honor. One of these two men is going to move up the rankings after this.
These two guys know each other so well. This rivalry goes back to the era of Honor Begins, where Xavier beat Scoot Andrews. Last month at the crowning of a champion, Scoot finally beat Xavier after busting his head wide open in South Philadelphia. This is the rubber match. This is the most important one. This is the final chapter in the feud of Xavier and the Black Nature Boy Scoot Andrews.
Xavier with a nice rear enziguri to the back of the head of Scoot Andrews, and Scoot is outside the ring. Ref Hansen checking on Scoot Andrews, who's outside on that hardwood floor. I'll tell you what, Steve Corino, he almost kicked his head off of that enziguri, and Scoot's feeling the effects of it right now.
Scoot's feeling the effects of that insecurity, and he knows that if he rolls out, there's no countouts right now, unless the referee deems that he is trying to just intentionally not get back in the ring. So he's biding some time. He's getting his thoughts together, but Xavier's going up to the top turnbuckle, and Scoot Andrews has got to look. Oh my goodness! Donnie, you're so good at calling that move. What is it?
Well, I would say that was some kind of acai-type moonsault by Xavier off the top rope right onto Scoot Andrews, and Xavier X marks the spot, and the spot was the spine of Scoot Andrews that just hit that hardwood floor. Xavier seems to have this match well in control, shoots Scoot Andrews back under the bottom rope, and Xavier has this match well in control, Steve Corino. He's got Scoot right where he wants him, and right where he wants him is into that rear corner post, thrusting him with a spear-like move right into the corner. Scoot Andrews is almost out on his feet. Nice jumping high knees right to the face of Scoot. I'll tell you what, Steve Corino, I have not seen Scoot Andrews in this much trouble in a long time. Overhead bear hug suplex on the Scoot.
Granted, Donnie B, Scoot Andrews did wrestle a match before this, but Xavier seems to have an edge to him, quite a inner fire to him that I haven't seen before. And Xavier looks good, but Scoot Andrews, quite the defensive wrestler. The Black Nature Boy, always a defensive wrestler. Xavier went for a bulldog. Scoot Andrews turned, hit him with a right-handed clothesline, and Xavier's now in big trouble.
Scoot Andrews on top of Xavier, twisting the tide back in his favor. Looking to set up that force of nature. If he hits it on Xavier, this match could be over, Steve. Xavier up and over on the shoulder of Scoot, shoots, wiggles down the bottom of his back. Scoot Andrews takes Xavier, rips him into the ropes. Xavier up and over with a nice sunset flip. Scoot Andrews wiggles out, locks on the arm lock right there. A twisting roll of dice there on Xavier.
He's got a 2 count there, but Scoot Andrews has to get up there and grab the leg of Xavier. Xavier doesn't want to lose 2 times in a row to Scoot Andrews. He knows it. He's going to kick out of anything that he can. Now Xavier seems to be on top, going for a powerbomb type maneuver.
Xavier has Scoot up on his shoulders. What's he going to do? He drops Scoot Andrews right in the middle of the ring. And right there in the middle of the ring, Scoot Andrews seems to be out, Steve. I'll tell you what, Xavier has been very impressive in this match. Xavier seems to be a new man tonight, Steve Corino. I have never seen this young man as crisp and as sharp as I have here at Wakefield, Massachusetts.
I got to agree with you, Donnie B. They both look crisp. A great 450. And that's it. Xavier wins the feud. 2 wins to 1. Xavier has to be considered for title contention right now. That man has an edge and a fire. Xavier is hot.
An excellent performance.
See Biohazard. After you're under contract with ROH, there's no more driving. No more 36 hours on the road. You fly in, you get cars like this. You stick with me, you'll be alright in this world. So why don't you get my bags, park the car for me.
Whoa, where are you going, man?
Right now, Steve Corino, we are set for what promises to be an incredible match between Michael Shane and Paul London. This one has a long-running history. Steve Corino, fill us in a little bit, if you will.
Well, these guys have quite a feud going. The cocky Michael Shane, who I am so impressed with. I mean, I could go on for hours about how impressed I am of Michael Shane, and that's why. You never turn your back on your opponent, Paul London. Well, when will somebody learn? This kid, Michael Shane, is the nephew of Shawn Michaels. Do you think that he knows all the dirty tricks? This is why I like this kid. But anyway, back to the story, Donnie B, that you asked me about. Michael Shane has a lot of heat with Paul London because Paul London is jealous that Michael Shane won the contract at Crowning the Champion in the tag match that featured Michael Shane and his partner Biohazard against Don Juan and Paul London. Paul London's looking for a little revenge here because he had to drive up from Texas with good old the fat potato with legs, Rudy Boy Gonzalez, and Michael Shane flew. And not only did he fly, he flew up Biohazard on his own dime because when you have a contract with Ring of Honor, you make a lot more money than Paul London did driving in the smelly van with Rudy Boy Gonzalez. In a nutshell.
Steve Corino, you are a man full of hate, but Paul London shoots the body of Michael Shane up and over the top rope, and I take offense to those remarks you made about Rudy Boy. Rudy Boy is an upstanding man, a man of great credentials, and a man who's doing the right thing here in the country. And Paul London threw the middle of the ropes onto Biohazard and Michael Shane. And Steve Corino, I'd appreciate it if you didn't mock Rudy Boy any longer.
Wait a second, have you ever talked to Rudy Boy?
A few times, Steve Corino, but Paul London stomping Michael Shane outside the ring. He is venomous, he is pissed off, and he is upset that he did not secure that Ring of Honor contract. Steve Corino, this man has a right to be upset. You saw the footage, you saw the tape, and my estimation and the estimation of a lot of other ROH fans, that man right there, Paul London, should have a contract. Michael Shane was lucky to skate out of that match.
Michael Shane was not lucky. Michael Shane scored a pin. You're not lucky when you score a pin, Donnie B. You're not lucky at all. Referee Rick Porter counted Shane's pin. Oh, it's a darn shame that Paul London and his beautiful dropkick that he hit on Michael Shane didn't get the contract, but that's the way the ball bounces. Michael Shane has done everything right here at Ring of Honor so far. He's got a contract, he flies, the hotel's paid for. Paul London is on his own dime, and he's trying to make a name for himself on Michael Shane's reputation. What more can I say about this? What more do you want? Do you want me to cry for the kid? Do you want me to beg for him to get a contract? Do you want me to go to the office and do something about it? Michael Shane's got a contract. I like Michael Shane. Paul London looks like somebody that I wish dies every day, and he hangs out with Rudy Boy Gonzalez, and I'm getting more upset. His stupid move there. Donnie, call the damn match.
Oh my God, Steve Corino, like I said, a man full of hate. A nice back brain kick to the head of Michael Shane. A little while ago, we just saw a nice standing back moonsault by Paul London. Thus far, Paul London seems to have Michael Shane dazed and confused, out on his feet, rubber-legged. All those cliches are in this match. Michael Shane seems to be on the defensive end here. Paul London is a house of fire. This man is wrestling like a man possessed. Nice head scissors by Paul London. Paul London blocks a forearm right to the face of Michael Shane. Michael Shane seems to be a little jilted, but he...
Oh my
Throws
goodness.
Paul London from the top rope about 12 feet through the barricade and almost Julian French fries the whole front row.
Yeah, that's right, the French fries are there. Rudy Boy Gonzalez went after. Paul London is like a human car accident. This guy is not only dangerous to his opponents, he's dangerous to himself. And Rudy Boy just took the security guard's wallet.
No, he didn't, Steve.
He did, I
Rudy
swear
Boy
to God.
checking out one of his young proteges, Paul London. Exactly what a mentor should do. Exactly what a teacher should do. Making sure that young man will still have a career come tomorrow morning. Rudy Boy doing the right thing, stepping in. And Michael Shane, look at him. What kind of man does that? What kind of man goes over and picks up the scraps after it goes through a barricade? This is reprehensible, Steve. Personally, I'm disgusted.
Now, you may be disgusted, but Michael Shane is a guy that takes an opportunity and runs with it. Paul London had an opportunity to capitalize on Chris Marvel's injury when he broke the poor kid's leg.
Whoa.
But he didn't. He sat in the ring like a great sportsman. Oh, big freaking deal. There's Rudy Boy looking for another French fry. Michael Shane is a guy that I just love watching because the guy reminds me a lot of me. A classic pro wrestler that takes an advantage and runs with it. He took the ball and he's running with it, hooked the leg, and Paul London was lucky to kick out at 2.
Only a 2 count there by Michael Shane, who just moments ago was making scrap metal with the body of Paul London out of these ROH barricades. Thus far, this match has been pretty even. Michael Shane seems to have the advantage right now on Paul London, but that's because just mere moments, Steve, you saw it. Michael Shane took a shortcut. There's a difference between a shortcut and an opportunity as he launched Paul London about 12 feet through that barricade. A nice picture-perfect elbow drop right there on a Paul London in the middle of the ring, and Michael Shane seems a little in disbelief right now that London kicked out.
Donnie B, I didn't see Michael Shane put Paul London on the top rope. Paul London voluntarily went to the top rope to do one of those stupid aerobatic moves that he does, and Michael Shane took advantage of it. Is that Michael Shane's fault? You know what? I watched Biohazard on the outside, and I love it because he's looking up to his mentor. His mentor, Michael Shane. That's a guy you can look up to. Not the baked potato with legs, Rudy Boy Gonzalez, in his 63 Impala that can't even park at the ECW in South Philadelphia. This guy, Rudy Boy Gonzalez, takes 22% of these guys' pay, and I know because Paul London is not under contract. This guy's not even going home with any money. How is this guy going to go to the mall and buy stock?
Please, 22% of the money. All these ridiculous diatribes spewing out of your mouth. This is human filth coming out of your mouth. The human highlight reel of human diarrhea sitting next to me on my left. Paul London with a nice front kick to the face of Michael Shane, locking in that tornado DDT. Paul London calls for it. If he hits this Carino, it's headache number 9 for Michael Shane. But he blocks it. Michael Shane up and over. Oh! Bear hug suplex over the top. Right there. I'll tell you what.
Pull him out.
Paul London might be out.
Paul London should be out.
Hooks the leg, only a 2 count there. Michael Shane still can't believe it. Steve Carino, he seems to be coming flustered right now. And Rudy Boy looks on with words of encouragement for young upstart Paul London.
Words of encouragement. Rudy Boy knows that if Paul London wins, Paul London gets the winner's share of the purse, and that means the 26% that he collects.
I thought it was 22, Steve Carino. If you're going to lie, at least get your lies straight, as Biohazard looks
not a liar, Donnie B.
Rudy Boy and Biohazard each trying to get their men back into this match. A reverse chin lock by Michael Shane on a Paul London, who seems to be giving it all, seems to be fighting back. Let me tell you, Steve, 90% of the competitors out there after being through a Paul London has, especially getting Julian through those guardrails, would have been given up by now. They would have been beaten, but not Paul London. This man has something to prove, and Michael Shane strutting around the ring like a proud peacock. That makes my blood boil, Steve. That makes me sick.
Good. Now let your blood boil. Let's see who wins. Michael Shane is staying on Paul London's neck. He threw him through the barricade. Cool. Landed on his head. Landed on his neck. Now he had the version of the camel clutch. Now he dropped an elbow on his neck. He's staying on the neck. He's wearing Paul London down, and that's what you got to do. Paul London is a high flyer. If your neck's hurt, Donnie B, you're not going to be able to fly much. Michael Shane is so smart. Look, another elbow strike to the back of the head, to the neck. Paul London is weary. Paul London is weak right now. Michael Shane is in total control.
Michael Shane has Paul London up, back into the ropes, whips Paul London into the ropes. Paul London up, face first slam. Michael Shane right there. London mounts Michael Shane and just repeatedly slams the back of Michael Shane's head into the mat, saying, "Take that, USOB. I've had enough of you in this match." Paul London seems like a man possessed, and the target of his rage is right there. Michael Shane, nice knife edge, cutting Shane in half. Another one, 3 knife edges, and a roaring slap by Paul London sends Michael Shane crashing down like the Leaning Tower of Pisa during a windy storm. Right there, Paul London. I'll tell you what, Steve, he is dominating right now. Michael Shane is in a bit of trouble, and if he doesn't watch it, he's going to come out the loser tonight.
Michael Shane seems to be back on the advantage here. Oh, but London ducks out of the way.
London gets a kick. Nice front face kick by Michael Shane. That's the bicycle kick by Shane. Only a 2 count there. London with the presence of mind. There's that Rudy Boy teaching. Good boy, Paul. Good boy. Listen to Rudy Boy. That teaching just kicked in there. He knew exactly where he was.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Paul London knew where he was. He took a stiff kick to the face, but he knew where he was. He got his foot in the ropes. Okay, I'll put Paul London over for that. But Michael Shane is still in control. Michael Shane is going to the top, and Donnie B, you know what time it is.
This could be time for the picture-perfect elbow that he's made famous from coast to coast like buttered toast. Michael Shane up on the top rope right now. And London shoot kicks the leg out from underneath him. And Steve Carino, what were you saying before about being a high flyer? If you don't have your legs, you can't fly too high. And Paul London in control right now, looking to mount the top turnbuckle. Perhaps a superplex by London onto Shane. If he hits this, it could be over.
Yeah, but would it be smart for him to hit a superplex? Because Michael Shane's been working his neck right back down on the neck. Michael Shane is such a thinker. here. Paul London wasn't thinking. He was going for a superplex when he should have done something else. Drove his head into the mat. This could be all.
X Factor front face into the mat. Only a 2 count there. Unbelievable. Paul London kicks out of that. I thought he had a 3 count there for sure. Michael Shane thought he had a 3 count. These 500 plus fans here in Wakefield thought there was a 3 count. But one man didn't think there was a 3 count, and that man's name is Paul London.
I'll give it to you. Paul London's got heart. Paul London's got determination. Paul London does not like to lose, and Paul London is showing why he belongs in Ring of Honor. But I think Michael Shane's just a little bit better.
Up and over there, Michael Shane quickly locks up the legs of Paul London. This is very sound strategy. Very smart move here by Michael Shane. This could be it, Steve Corino. We might have a tap out here by Paul London.
He's stretching him here. Look, the abs, the neck. Paul London is in big trouble. The quad. He has got a perfect submission hold in there in the middle of the ring, Donnie B. As Rudy Boy is there trying to encourage him to get to the ropes, but Paul London is in trouble. Paul London is trying to keep a vertical base, but he can't. Michael Shane is stretching him right now. This could be it. If Paul London was smart, he would tap out and fight another day, but he made it to the ropes.
Paul London reaches for the ropes with his trainer and mentor, Rudy Boy. It was almost like he was reaching after Rudy Boy, saying, Rudy, I'm doing this for you. I'm going to reach that rope, and nothing will stop me. Michael Shane won't stop me. The obligatory, disgusting remarks of Steve Corino won't stop me. Nothing will stop me. Paul London is a man possessed right there. A nice small package cradle, only a 2 count by London. Michael Shane back up on his feet, ducks under. Nice reverse full Nelson type maneuver by Michael Shane. Dumps Paul London over his shoulder. Kick to the midsection. Locks in what appears to be a pile driver. No, up and over. Powerbomb attempt turned into a roll through head scissors. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Steve Corino. What a burst of action by this young man, London.
Okay, a burst of action by this young man, London. But answer me this: why is Rudy Boy, shouting encouragement to only Paul London when he trained Michael Shane too?
He probably wants to see both young men excel, but the only problem is that Paul London has a little bit more respect than Michael Shane. Michael Shane needs to be knocked down a few pegs.
Michael Shane.
Biohazard checking on Michael Shane outside the ring, and Paul London looks down and sees Michael Shane and Steve Corino. You know what that means? No!
Oh, wait a second.
He just spilled right onto the ankle of Michael Shane, Steve.
Wait,
like
Donnie.
Michael Shane has injured that ankle, Steve Corino.
Donnie B, we've seen this before with Chris Marvel.
This is exactly the same thing that happened to Chris Marvel.
Oh, this ain't good. This ain't good. Now, see, wait a second. Why isn't Paul should just leave him alone? Michael Shane is legit hurt right now.
Rudy Boy needs to get over there and check on the condition of Michael Shane, Steve Corino. We have a similar injury, it appears.
That's something you don't fool with. A broken leg is something you don't fool with.
The round robin challenge, I believe, Steve, if memory serves me correct, this is what happened to Chris Marvel. Fans, this is very ugly. You may want to fast forward the videotape.
Yeah, I mean, granted, you have wrestling boots on. Michael Shane has wrestling boots. Yeah, Chris Marvel had the magnums on, but it's still the same injury. There's only so much you can do. Your leg's going to give out. You have a 200-pound man, doing a twisting flip on you.
Rudy Boy calling for the trainers in the back. I think this match is over.
As much as I bury Rudy Boy. Wait a second!
Oh my God! That's disgusting, Steve Corino.
He small packaged him with a broken leg.
A broken leg right behind Steve. That's absolutely Corino-esque. It's disgusting that Michael Shane just perpetrated that move.
Genius. He worked us.
Played on the folly, played on the injury of Chris Marvel, on the heartstrings of everybody out there, all the ROH fans. That makes me absolutely sick, Steve Corino, that Michael Shane would take the injury of a fellow brother and use it as a strategical placement, a strategical weapon in a match like this. Steve Corino, how on earth could you endorse something like that?
Hey, he didn't cheat. He didn't pull the tights. He didn't hit him with a foreign object. Psychological advantage. Michael Shane is the winner because Michael Shane's a little bit smarter than Paul London.
And these two men adhering to the code of honor, Paul London being a good sport and shaking the hand of Michael Shane.
Paul.
Steve, I am absolutely sickened by what I have just seen.
He beat you clean. He beat you. The mind is more dangerous than the body sometimes.
Absolutely sickening, Steve Corino. And what's this, Steve Corino? Simply Luscious, your girlfriend in the ring right now.
Yeah, so?
Simply Luscious seems to have something to say, Steve Corino. Could you possibly cue us in on what it could be?
I don't know. She's with the Prophecy. I'm not with the Prophecy. She does her own thing in the ring. Me and her kind of have a non-Ring of Honor, outside the ring activity going on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I give you all the details after this.
On behalf of Christopher Daniels,
Chris Daniels' family is in attendance.
I would like to extend an invitation for you to join Prophecy. You're better for your honor. Now, come join us.
Thank God Rudy Boy steps in.
Me and you, Legend Captain Paul. We don't need that, alright?
It's kind of hard to pass up.
There's no prophecy. Honestly, I'm here for you guys. Alright?
Yeah, now that he won, where was he when he was with Paul
Thank you,
London?
Rudy.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Prophecy, but who would you rather go with, Donnie? A hot-looking
That
girl?
brought you to the dance.
I can tell you some stories.
Oh! Steve Corino, your girlfriend just got kicked square in the mug.
Oh, that's...
Unbelievable,
When she's in the
Steve
ring,
Corino. That
Donnie.
was absolutely shocking.
Donnie, when she's in the ring, it's business!
Oh, what a rat. What a complete rat Michael Shane is.
Oh, I thought you... Yeah,
No, Steve, I meant Michael Shane, a complete rat fake, a complete lowlife. And what is this? Pummeling his trainer, beating his trainer down to a pulp, and now doing this to Paul London.
Wait a second. Where was his trainer during the match? He was cheering for Paul London. What? Oh, all of a sudden now that Michael Shane was outsmarted him, he's good enough? Michael Shane is a smart wrestler. I mean, I'm not real thrilled that he kicked Luscious.
And there it is, Steve, the picture-perfect elbow as you ramble on about Luscious. This is sickening, Steve Corino. Michael Shane and Biohazard have just completed one of the most heinous acts I've seen in a long time.
You may think he's cocky, you may think he's arrogant, but this kid is a winner. What he did to Luscious, well, when she's in the ring, that's her business. What we do outside the ring's personal. But Michael Shane is one smart guy, Donnie B.
You think you're too good to show respect to Eddie Guerrero?
Look, pal, people don't pay to see Eddie Guerrero. People pay to see Spanky. Did you not hear him up there?
What? Oh, what is this? You two girls done marking out for Eddie Guerrero now? You finished? Marking out? Yeah, that's right. Oh!
You want to do something about it? Nuts to you guys, huh?
See what I'm talking about?
I see.
If I still had hair, this place would make it go gray. Ring of Honor. Jesus Christ, Joe.
Coming to the ring at this time, weighing in at 185 pounds, from
set for what promises to be a scientific wrestler's dream. Donovan Morgan and the American Dragon. You talk submissions, you talk wrestling clinic, you talk about these two men, American Dragon and Donovan Morgan. Steve, I am personally excited to see this one. Donovan Morgan over from the West Coast, over from California, as well as the American Dragon. Two California imports tonight in Beantown.
The East Coast has got a treat here. Donovan Morgan and the American Dragon going to lock it up here. You guys are going to see a wrestling clinic. American Dragon, one of the best on the mat. Donovan Morgan, a big, strong individual who can go on the mat. He can go in the air. You know, this is going to be an equal match.
Donovan Morgan, the powerhouse of the prophecy. Steve Carino, hand chosen by Christopher Daniels to join him in his crusade against the ROH, against everything the ROH stands for. Donovan Morgan, built like a German tank. This man is almost unstoppable. He'll bulldoze the competition, and right now he locks up with the American Dragon. Nice knuckle lockup. Donovan Morgan has the advantage in power, but as far as leverage, I'd have to give it to the Dragon. Dragon is no stranger to facing men bigger than him. You'll remember the match he had with Doug Williams, a bigger foe, and he held his own in that one. And American Dragon looking to do the same tonight.
Donnie, you mentioned Donovan Morgan being a part of the prophecy, and at Night of Appreciation, Morgan joined up with Christopher Daniels, the man he wrestled that night as part of the prophecy, and showed no respect to Eddie Guerrero when the rest of the locker room and the fans of Philadelphia all did. This man has showed no respect in Ring of Honor. He's a part of the prophecy, and what's going to change tonight?
Well, Donovan Morgan being part of the prophecy probably follows in the same thing that Christopher Daniels done. That is no respect for anyone but himself. He does not practice what the others preach here at ROH. He has just thrown the American Dragon back into the ring. Donovan Morgan looking, the smart thing here for Donovan Morgan is to try to take Dragon off his feet, try to use some of those submission moves he's learned over in the Orient that he has brought back here to the United States, and maybe force a submission out of the Dragon.
And Dragon and Morgan are no strangers to each other. Donnie, you remember in the Night of Appreciation, the locker room fight, a lot of the fans didn't get to see it because they're not in the locker room, but these two got into it in the locker room, and they're here to settle the score in Beantown.
Dragon throws Morgan off the rope. Morgan hits him with a shoulder tackle straight down. Morgan rolls through with a nice pinfall attempt on Dragon. Trap both shoulders behind the rear ankles of Donovan Morgan. Only a 2 count, and Dragon looks a little bewildered.
He is a little bewildered because Dragon has this little chip on his shoulder that he thinks that he's the greatest mat technician. You know, I was supposed to be wrestling Dragon next month as he defended the honor of Rudy Boy, like Rudy Boy was his date or something. But, you know, I got better things to do, Donnie B.
Steve Carino, that's reprehensible. And what was as equally reprehensible is that shove off of Donovan Morgan on the American Dragon, showing absolutely no respect for the skills and techniques of this young California native who has a tight armbar on Donovan Morgan right there.
Oh, did I tell you what I had to do? Of course not. Well, let me go about the Code of Honor, Donnie B. This is my favorite time when American Dragon is boring the hell out of me. I get to talk about the Code of Honor. 1, competitors must shake hands. 2, no harming an official or causing others to harm an official. These guys are not trained professional wrestlers, so why should we beat them up? We might as well be beating up the fans, Donnie B. Number 3, no interfering or having others interfere on your behalf. This ain't sports entertainment. This is professional wrestling. Nice drop kick, by the way. Number 4, no sneak attacks. Rudy Boy Gonzalez, though, you know, goes against that code every month. You see him attack Michael
Please,
Shane
Steve,
earlier.
get to the code.
And number 5, if you are disqualified in your match, you have broken the Code of Honor, which means you have heat with the boys. And when you have heat with the boys, like your brother always has, you are not a very popular guy. However, the Code of Honor does not apply to blood matches because those matches are about hatred and not athleticism. Me being an athlete, I have no heat with anybody. I would never have a blood match in my entire life or my entire career, Ring of Honor. But you know, blood matches are a lot different than the athleticism matches. This isn't say it for me. I have a lot to say, Donnie. Come on, help me out here.
Sorry, Pinocchio, your growing nose has hit me after the statement. Then you have no heat with the boys and that you're an athlete. Oh my God, Steve Carino. American Dragon with a tight armbar and Donovan Morgan. These two men are equally matched. Steve Carino, how could you say all those lies? How could you perpetrate that buffoonery that just came out out of your mouth. However, you were correct in saying that some of these matches at ROH, the blood feuds, they must be settled. They are outside the realm of the code. When two men are more interested in punishing their opponent than scoring a pinfall or victory, that needs to be settled one way or the other. And the code goes out the window. Those blood feuds here at ROH must be settled. We're about 6 shows in here at ROH so far, and some deadly feuds have developed as of late, and they need to be settled, Steve. And sometimes you have to do it outside the code.
And there's some great athletic rivalries, like the one we have with Donovan Morgan, American Dragon here. A great armbar. If he extends that arm, he is going to pop out the elbow. Donovan Morgan wisely goes to the rope, wisely breaks it, and American Dragon, even though Donovan Morgan's still on the rope, quite the heel, American Dragon is going after the elbow while Donovan Morgan is on the rope. And you wonder why I didn't want to wrestle.
Well, Donovan Morgan is on the rope. Remember, Steve, although these two have had a locker room altercation, you have to remember this isn't a gimmick match, Steve. This isn't some kind of farce. This is a match by the rules. Both men have agreed to put it on the line here as far as wrestling goes. This is a match held by the Code of Honor. The Code of Honor will be upheld in this one.
So, Donnie, let's hypothetically say I have a Texas death match. I wouldn't have to shake the guy's hand in the beginning or the end?
Absolutely not. If it's a blood feud, Steve, and you have an issue to settle that is outside the bounds,
I have no issues.
You have a magazine rack full of issues, Steve Carino. You have a subscription of issues.
I have no issues with anyone. Maybe Luscious, but we do that later.
American Dragon with a nice arm lock on Donovan Morgan, hyperextending that elbow. Donovan Morgan barely escapes, barely breaks the hold by touching that bottom rope, and Dragon standing triumphant in the middle of the ring. This young man means business.
That's true. American Dragon always does mean business. Oh, beautiful European uppercut on Donovan Morgan. But you notice Donovan Morgan is always going to the ropes. When he's on the defense, he's always near the ropes, because when you're near the ropes, you can put your foot in there, you can put your arm in there, you can put your head in there, and you can't pin. Oh,
nice arm whip there, and Donovan Morgan head over heels onto the mat. Dragon whips the shoulder back, almost dislocating the left shoulder of Donovan Morgan. A very smart move there, trying to take out one of the upper body parts of Donovan Morgan. Work on it a little more. Now look at the leverage that American Dragon has on that wrist. Look at the way he puts the right foot onto the back earlobe of Donovan Morgan, thus causing more pressure on that wrist, Steve Carino. If Donovan Morgan is unable to use that left arm, that cuts out about 50% of his offense.
You're right, Donnie B. When you cut off the arm, you cut off a lot of the guy's offense, especially a power guy like Donovan Morgan. But Donovan Morgan's smart enough to know that he can rest up. He can take a little bit of punishment because he is so much bigger than American Dragon. There it is, a beautiful overhead, belly to back suplex, landed American Dragon on the back of his head. Luckily for American Dragon, he didn't land on his nose because we would have broke the ring.
Steve Carino, please. American Dragon with a nice leapfrog there, but Donovan Morgan caught him and dumped him with a belly to back suplex. Only a 2 count. Referee lets us know there. Paul Turner, referee in this matchup, lets us know that it's only a 2 count. And these men outside the ring, very uncharacteristic for the American Dragon to be outside the ring, but Donovan Morgan, being a member of the Prophecy and schooled by Christopher Daniels, will take such shortcuts, Steve Carino, the kind of shortcuts you like.
No, I'm not a shortcut type of guy, but Donovan Morgan will take an advantage. You may call it a shortcut. Christopher Daniels has taught him well. Picking up the chair. Oh, somebody insulted his family. He was just, shooting back.
He just gave a hey, how you doing to all these Beantown fans. And once again, these ring barriers must owe somebody money, Steve Carino, because they are taking a brutal beating at the hands of these wrestlers tonight here in Wakefield, Mass.
And referee Paul Turner's letting these guys go, outside the ring at an extended period where American Dragon's not at an advantage. American Dragon's a wrestler that needs to be on the mat. He needs to be in the ring. When he's in the ring, he's in his zone. When he's outside the ring, you know what? He's beatable.
American Dragon, Donovan Morgan, nice shoot forearm by Donovan Morgan to the left temple of the Dragon. Dragon seems a little bit out on his feet. Oh, a nice left forearm right to the skull. American Dragon shoots back with one of his own, and that one might have knocked Dragon clean out. Donovan Morgan means business.
Donnie B, you noticed that Donovan Morgan was hitting him with the forearm and the elbow right under the ear. When you get hit like that, you go out for, a split second. In a split second, you're in concussion mode. When you have a guy throwing 2, 3, 4 of those elbow shivers right under the ear, and you're going out for a second at a time, you're really taking a lot of pressure on the brain.
Donovan Morgan, both legs wrapped under the front shoulders of the American Dragon. Very painful like submission there. I know I'll catch heat on the internet, Steve, because I don't know the appropriate name of that one, but it sure as hell looks like it hurts a whole hell of a lot.
And Donovan Morgan being very smart. He's not allowing himself to be pinned. Referee Paul Turner is
in great position. Donovan Morgan turns it over into a pinfall attempt, but no, Dragon is about 2 or 3 inches off the canvas, and this is more of a submission hold than a pinfall, but Donovan Morgan, somehow the Dragon escapes and turns into a reverse surfboard, and now Dragon has the offensive advantage.
Dragon does have the offensive advantage. He's got to pull a little harder to get Donovan Morgan's neck up and to put more pressure on the lower back and on the triceps and forearms and elbows. As you see, the elbow being extended. The American Dragon's got the advantage right now.
Nice submission hold there by the American Dragon, even further softening up the lower back of Donovan Morgan. This match has pretty much been 50-50, Steve Carino, as Dragon goes for the shoot clothesline there, and Donovan Morgan catches him, and Uranagi's and suplexes right over the top. Right there, American Dragon landed hard on his head, and he might, oh no, only a 2 count, Paul Turner. I thought that might have been a 3, Steve.
A big mistake there by Donovan Morgan, not hooking the leg. American Dragon is a world-class athlete. As much as I don't like the kid, and I think he, stands up for the wrong guys, he is a world-class athlete, a great professional wrestler, and he just kicked the snot right out of Donovan Morgan.
Jumping side kick by the Dragon onto the back of the skull of Donovan Morgan. Both men down. Paul Turner has begun the count here, Steve Carino. It's a battle to see who can get to their feet. A battle to see who wants it more. The American Dragon, Donovan Morgan, 2 West Coast imports tonight in Beantown, spilling it all here in the middle of the ring. Donovan Morgan charged with the clothesline, a knife edge by the American Dragon. Morgan off his feet, back into the corner. American Dragon has Morgan into the ropes. Morgan off the ropes. Shoot charge forearm by the American Dragon, and Morgan is down.
And American Dragon is hot. American Dragon seems like he's picking up steam right now. American Dragon spent so much time on the mat. He keeps his breath low. He keeps it down so that when it comes time, 12, 13, 14 minutes into the match, he can go at 100%.
Nice jumping spin wheel kick to the back of the skull of Morgan. A second one in this match. Those are the kind of maneuvers that accumulate over time, Steve Carino. A couple more shots like that. This guy's going to have mashed potatoes for brains pouring out of his ears. Dragon has him in the corner and is unloading a flurry of chops on Morgan. Twisty arm has Morgan, shoots him across the ring into the corner. American Dragon charges in, forearm right to the skull. That's the 3rd consecutive shot to that left portion of the skull, and Dragon is trying to take this guy's head off.
A beautiful Northern Light suplex there by American Dragon. A beautiful bridge, but American Dragon took a lot of air and a lot of energy to do that. American Dragon may be thinking, what can I do to put Donovan Morgan away?
And you just saw the expression on Dragon's face. He was saying to himself, man, what do I have to do to beat this guy? As Morgan shoot kicks him in the face. Morgan straight down, thunderous DDT onto the skull of American Dragon. Donovan Morgan hooks the leg, only a 2 count there, and Morgan looks just as every bit as dazed and confused as the Dragon does. Both of these men are saying to themselves, what the heck have I gotten myself into? This guy is as equally or not as tough as I thought he would be. Steve Carino, I'm almost at a loss for words. This is one hell of a match.
It's a great match. These guys have been going for a long time so far, and now a 2 count by American Dragon. Donovan Morgan up first. Oh, a belly-to-belly overhead throw. He's got to get on top of him. Donovan Morgan's using a lot of energy here.
Only a 2 count, very judo-esque like maneuver there by Donovan Morgan on the man who has had martial arts background, martial arts training, the American Dragon. That overhead throw, that judo throw seems to have thrown Dragon off just a little bit. I'm not too sure if Dragon knew that Donovan Morgan had judo type training himself. Both men exchanging hard, stiff forearms right now in the middle of the ring. Both of these guys on easy street. Dragon with another forearm to the skull of Donovan Morgan. Steve, that's got to be the 7th or 8th shot. And oh man, Donovan Morgan, headache number 5.
And for you fans out there that are watching the Ring of Honor tapes, and you want to know how those forearm shots feel, watch these guys' legs. Watch these guys' knees buckle when they're getting hit underneath the ear. Those things hurt. A punch may hurt a little bit, but Donnie B, experience has told me that the elbow shot hurts a lot more.
Big time West Texas like DDT right there. Haven't seen it in a while, Steve. American Dragon plants Donovan Morgan right in the middle of the ring. Very uncharacteristic for the Dragon to be going to the top right here, Steve Carino, but is also known for that headbutt like Quiet Storm, and right there, almost full impact on Donovan Morgan. Nice headbutt by the American Dragon. Like I said earlier, a little uncharacteristic for the Dragon to go to the top, but usually when he does, only a 2 count there. Usually when the Dragon does, it's for good purpose, and that purpose was to take the lights out of Donovan Morgan.
But he went to the top rope. He used a lot of energy. There he goes. He went for a Fujiwara armbar. Donovan Morgan rolled through. There it goes. Beautiful Beautiful, beautiful. What do you call it, Donnie?
I would call that a twisting move that dropped American Dragon on his head. God damn it, I can't keep up with this stuff, Steve
Donnie B,
Carino.
I know in your mind you were hoping that was the finish, so you wouldn't have to call that whole move there. A 2 count there by Donovan Morgan. American, he's trying to pick him up for, it looks like almost a pedigree type maneuver. American Dragon's holding down. American Dragon over top. As you see Donovan Morgan, his eye is busted open. His eye is busted open from those elbows, and he's going for the cattle mutilation, and he's got it. He's got it, Donnie B.
Cattle mutilation by the American Dragon. A submission hold on Morgan, who's been busted open. Steve Carino, Morgan seems to be holding on.
He's holding on,
checking for the submission.
That's the great condition that Donovan Morgan's in right now, but American Dragon's squeezing, and Donovan Morgan's in big trouble here. There's nowhere to go. There's no rope. American Dragon's got this thing locked in the middle of the ring. This thing hurts. I've asked the boys before I was going to do that match with the Dragon, how does the cattle mutilation feel? They said it's one of the...
It's over! It's over! Carino, I think we have a time limit draw here. I think we have a time limit has expired.
No, I think American Dragon quit. He knew that he couldn't...
A time limit draw. I believe, if memory serves me correct, that is the first draw here at ROH.
Johnny, you're right. This is the first draw here at Ring of Honor, a time limit draw. Wow, I'm shocked here.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. We've seen a lot of them come, and we've seen a lot of them go. But tonight, Carnage Crew, AC Loke, DeVito, Boston Massacre, I think you two boys bit off a little more than you can chew.
You know, everyone talks about how bad Boston is. People forget New York, they bred guys like us who believe in violence. Guys like us who don't care about getting hurt. And tonight, you two boys, I don't know, Moff. I don't know. DeVito Loke! Are you ready to make the sacrifice, boys? We are. We are, goddammit, we are. See you tonight. What's up, man?
My favorite part about tonight, I suplexed that little bastard right into the fucking barbed wire.
Barbed wire on the corner, brother. How about that? How about that tornado bulldog I got?
Bulldog was nice. Yo. Check out the ring crew.
Every time you guys are fucking with us. Every time! You guys fucking with us. Which one does this look like? Does it look like Monster or Mafia? Monster Mac or Mafia?
Whichever, it don't matter. Throw him in that ring. I like that.
Someone's gonna go on to Boston? Get him up, DeVito! Get him up! Come on! Right there, Hit Squad! Right there!
That's you, Hit Squad. Hit Squad. That's you. Boston Massacre.
Oh, Boston Massacre!
Boston Massacre, motherfuckers!
Set for the very first Boston Massacre match, the Hit Squad versus Logan DeVito. This promises to be an all-out war, a blood feud, if you will. King of old school Steve Carino, you should enjoy this one.
Why would I enjoy this one? I don't like blood. Donnie B, there's no code of honor in this one. This is a blood feud. This is a Boston Massacre match, and anything goes. I mean, if they want to go out on the street, if they want to go to if they want to go to Rhode Island, they want to go on I-95 to the Big Dig, they want to go pick the beans in the harbor, they can do whatever they want. This is a Boston Massacre match. Anything goes. Logan DeVito are looking for some revenge. Logan DeVito have a score to settle with the Hit Squad. The Hit Squad put Logan through a table that DeVito was on at the road to the title. They stopped Logan DeVito from attacking the Natural Born Sinners with hubcaps that they stole off Boogaloo's own car at Crowning a Champion. And now it's come down to this in Beantown, a Boston Massacre match. This one is gonna be wild.
Mafia shoots Logan to the ring. Mafia with a big German suplex that absolutely folds Logan into two in the middle of the ring. DeVito outside the ring with what appears, I believe, is barbed wire wrapped around the right fist of DeVito, who's in the middle of the ring lurking and finds the target. Mafia down in the ring right now. DeVito with that weapon, that strand of barbed wire right to the forehead of Mafia. Mafia down in the ring at the hands of DeVito and his little partner, the barbed wire.
Oh, DeVito is such a bitter man. I mean, granted, we all worked in the same place before, but DeVito took it personally. DeVito is one bitter guy, and when he gets a chance to spill blood and use barbed wire or tables and chairs and little children, he will.
Well, Steve Carino, I don't know about little children, but Mafia with a nice Mafia kick right there on DeVito. DeVito down in the ring. I believe, if I'm seeing this correctly, Mafia has been busted open. However, he has retrieved that barbed wire, and let's see if DeVito likes it to take it as much as he gives it out, Steve Carino. I don't think he does. Right there, two big right fists with that barbed wire wrapped around the fist and elbow right to the skull cap of DeVito.
A la the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Mafia hit the flip-flop and fly, but but with a little extreme edge to it. Barbed wire wrapped around the elbow. Dusty Rhodes would be proud.
Mafia all over DeVito in the ring with that barbed wire. Loke outside the ring searching, canvassing the area for more weaponry. Loke outside the ring has Monster Mac battling outside the ring right across the guardrails. These guardrails taking an incredible amount of punishment today, Steve Corino. That's the only thing, though, however, that separates these animals from these fans here at Wakefield. These people sitting back looking at this carnage, looking at that head. Look at Monster Mac. He's been busted open.
He's been busted open bad.
This Boston Massacre is living up to its name already a few minutes into this match, and the blood flows red here in Beantown tonight.
Donnie, I mentioned this before. The Code of Honor does not apply to blood feuds because this isn't about athletic competition. This isn't about who's the best wrestler. This is men with an issue, men that hate each other, men with a grudge who want to beat each other half to death and get paid for it. These guys have a vendetta. Look, Loke is like smiling. He likes the pain. He likes to bleed. This guy's pretty much insane. DeVito and Loke, they like to be beat on. They like to beat people up. You know what? I wouldn't want to see these guys in a dark alley in Boston. I really wouldn't want to see you in a dark alley in Boston either. But I'd rather hang out with you than Loke and DeVito.
Steve Corino, I don't know what you do on your own time, but if you want to spend it in a dark alley in Boston, be my guest. Monster Mac in the ring with the barbed wire wrapped around the head of Loke. Loke down and out in the middle of the ring. Mafia outside the ring, all over DeVito. Just moments ago, DeVito with a drop kick into the chair, right into the face of Mafia, who almost went through the guardrail and returns the favor. Slam bam. Thank you, DeVito. Here's a chair to the spine.
A chair to the lower back, which hurts more than it goes to the upper back. You have a little more muscle at the upper part of the back. When getting hit with a chair still hurt, but when you get hit in the lower back, that hurts a lot. You got the kidneys, you got the spleen, you got the buttocks. I mean, you're in big trouble. And is that a cowbell?
Both members of the Hit Squad busted open. Both members of the Carnage crew busted open. One of those Texas cowbells right there to the forehead of Mafia outside the ring. This man is spewing the life plasma. That blood is flowing, Steve Corino. I have not seen the Hit Squad in this much trouble in quite a long time. DeVito and Loke mean business here at ROH. This is a team that needs to be reckoned with, Steve Corino. These men, DeVito and Loke, will take all the shortcuts, anything necessary to come out the victors in this match with the Hit Squad here tonight in this Boston Massacre. This has been a massacre, Steve Corino. I'm telling you right now, there are no winners in this type of matchup. All four of these men will have trouble walking tomorrow morning.
There's no honor in beating your opponent bloody, but there's a little bit of revenge, a little bit of fun, if you will. These guys want to beat each other up. It's not about athleticism in this one. It's about blood. It's about who's right, who's wrong. DeVito and Loke have an issue with the Hit Squad, the hardest hitting tag team on the planet. They want to be #1 in Ring of Honor. They want to be the tag team champions, but the Hit Squad keep showing Loke and DeVito why they consider themselves the #1 tag team in Ring of Honor.
Well, you just saw DeVito go for 2 clotheslines on Mafia. Mafia said, screw you, DeVito. He would have none of it. Threw DeVito back into the corner. DeVito shoot him off. Overhead throw right into the corner. Right there. And Monster Mac in the ring with the chair. Met by Loke's chair. Both men throwing chairs simultaneously. And a nice chair shot right to the head of Monster Mac. He's down in the middle of the ring. Mafia is met with a chair right to the spine. Both of these men are being battered with these chairs by Loke and DeVito. I'm telling you, Steve Corino, DeVito and Loke are a force.
They're such a force right now. They have 2 chairs and 2 Hit Squad members down, and anything goes. DeVito looks like he's having fun beating Mafia's back up. These guys, Mafia and Monster Mac, get out of the ring, which is very smart, but DeVito and Loke, they have something to prove here, and they're not going to be waiting for them too much longer.
The Hit Squad taking a breather outside the ring, regrouping, collecting their thoughts, coming up with another plan of attack, another strategy. Steve Corino, what do these men have up their sleeve? DeVito and Loke have pulled out all the stops. They've pulled out all the plunder. What on earth could the Hit Squad possibly be coming up with next?
Are they leaving? Donnie B, I think the Hit Squad are leaving. That's so uncharacteristic of the Hit Squad. The Hit Squad have left a Boston Massacre match, and they have left. The hardest hitting tag team on the planet has left Ring of Honor. And Donnie B, I'd say I'm disappointed. What the hell do they have?
Steve Corino, do my eyes deceive me, or is that a piece of plywood with barbed wire on it?
Donnie B, that is barbed wire boards. Barbed wire boards in Ring of Honor?
Now we know where the Hit Squad went. They went to bring the lunch, if you will, to the Steve Carino. The Hit Squad is bringing some toys to play with tonight. Steve Carino, that is a piece of plywood with barbed wire on it.
Well, if you haven't guessed before, you're going to have to say it now. The Code of Honor is definitely out the window in this one. This is definitely a blood feud.
Steve Carino, I've already said it twice, but I'll say it again. That is a piece of plywood with barbed wire on it. Only one thing can happen, Steve Carino, evil intentions. The Hit Squad are not planning to hold a buffet on that piece of wood unless there's two pieces of meat named DeVito and Loke that are going to meet it. Steve Carino, some bad things are going to happen.
Some bad things are going to happen. It doesn't look good for all four competitors right now. There's two barbed wire boards in the ring, and these guys are going at it tooth and nail in Beantown.
DeVito and Mac exchanging punches in the middle of the ring. DeVito the worse for wear right now. The bigger of the Hit Squad Mafia up in the middle of the ring exchanging rights with DeVito. Looking for something. Steve Carino looking around the ring, hoping not to land on that board full of barbed wire. Steve Carino, what kind of man brings a board full of barbed wire into a wrestling ring knowing that he himself might actually wind up in it? That shows you the state of mind that the Hit Squad is in. They know there's a good chance they might wind up in those boards, but yet they still brought them in.
You ever hang out with the Hit Squad?
No.
They're some crazy guys. You ever hang out with Loke and DeVito?
Double no.
Well, because they don't like you. But they're crazy guys also. You know what? These four enjoy it. These four love this stuff. Here goes DeVito. Smart man slides through it. Mafia goes. Oh!
Nice Mafia kick there on DeVito, who's down in the ring. Loke in the corner on Monster Mac, looking to throw Monster Mac into the other board. I'll tell you what, Steve Carino, the first man through this board, is in a lot of trouble. And Loke cuts himself short right before, as does Monster Mac.
Some reversals, some ducks, everybody making sure that they don't go through. A big kick, hit Loke in the ribs. The right foot came high, the left foot went low, hit him in the ribs. HC Loke is down, and Hit Squad seemed to be rising.
The Hit Squad right now, both of those barbed wire boards in opposite corners, across from the ring. DeVito outside the ring, Loke in the ring. Mafia has him sized up in the ring, has the legs spread. Steve Carino, what on earth are they going for? The big figure four. Oh, DeVito across the ring with what appeared to be a hubcap in his hand, Steve Carino.
Boogaloo's hubcap.
Boogaloo's hubcap almost slicing off the head of Mafia right there in the ring.
That was a little graphic, Donnie. He's slicing off the head. I prefer to say he capped him in the head with the hubcap.
Steve Carino, big frog splash by Monster Mac on Loke, but Loke had the presence of mind to move out of the way, and Monster Mac into the barbed wire board. The Hit Squad have just been turned into a human pincushion, Steve Carino, courtesy of DeVito and Loke.
And what hurts worse, trying to get out of it or staying in it? Look, he stuck to him. Puncture wounds are definitely going to be in his back.
Steve Carino, that's like a 300-pound fly in a glue factory. The Hit Squad trying to get off of that board full of barbed wire. The fight to get out of the barbed wire is equally as hard as the fight to go into the barbed wire. And DeVito missed with that big swing. Oh, man.
Both men took it. Both men are in big trouble.
Big spear on DeVito through the corner. DeVito has just been cut in half.
That's disgusting. DeVito appears to be stuck in the barbed wire, Donnie B. He is stuck. He's not getting out. I mean, he's definitely there.
The best defense for DeVito right now is to just stay put. Whatever happens, happens. The Hit Squad with Loke. Loke up on the shoulders. It could be that burning hammer, Steve Carino. And HC dumped on his head.
A wild and crazy Boston Massacre match here at Ring of Honor. Over 500 people are pleased, and the only two members not pleased with that match are the members of Carnage Crew, Luke and DeVito. A wild one, Donnie B. Crazy, but that's what Ring of Honor is all about. You may want to see athleticism, we're going to give it to you, and you may want to see blood feuds. Well, hell, we're going to give it to you too. Hit Squad are your winners.
Steve Carino right now, Biohazard versus Don Juan here in Beantown. We're set for what promises to be a hard-hitting match. Both of these two are the bigger combatants here at ROH. Biohazard gotten that mean streak in him as of late from hanging around Michael Shane.
Two members of Rudy Boy Gonzalez's Texas Wrestling Academy here. But I have to give the advantage to Biohazard. You know why, Donnie B?
No, Steve.
Donnie B. Biohazard flew to Boston. He flew from San Antonio, Texas to Boston, Massachusetts. Why, poor Don Juan, who seems to be a nice guy, had to ride 36 straight hours with the baked potato with legs, Rudy Boy Gonzalez.
That's horrible, Steve Carino. Don't mock the man because he's paying his dues. Instead, he could have taken the shortcut like Biohazard and stuffed himself into Michael Shane's travel bag. And Biohazard super stumped him to the neck there, Steve Carino.
Biohazard is an important part of Michael Shane's repertoire, and Michael Shane thought it's economically it was sound to fly a guy like Biohazard up there. You need a guy like Biohazard in your corner. I like Biohazard, and he's all over Don Juan right now.
Biohazard punching away, Don Juan punching away on Biohazard. Both of these men exchanging hard rights, hard lefts. Biohazard hooking in that double underhook butterfly suplex right there on Don Juan in the middle of the ring. Biohazard, a very good competitor, very big man. Steve Carino moves well for a big man. One of the larger men here, like I said, at ROH. Biohazard has Don Juan up on his feet, takes him nice headlock there by Biohazard, shoots a knee right to the midsection of Don Juan, perhaps softening him up, goes for a shoot throw over the back of the head, and Don Juan counters with a nice DDT there on Biohazard. Steve Carino, Don Juan is showing me something.
Don Juan reversed a suplex attempt, and Biohazard, he is a great suplex technician. Very young in the wrestling business, but he throws a lot of great suplexes. Don Juan trying to stay on Biohazard right now.
And right there, perfect example of someone taking too much time. Don Juan worried about outside. He looked at Michael Shane and got momentarily distracted. Biohazard capitalized on it, and right now Don Juan's in a world of hurt. Don Juan up and over the back of Biohazard. Biohazard shoots the clothesline, duck under by Don Juan, roll through backside. Only a 2 count there. Referee Paul Turner lets us know what's going on.
Donnie B, let's be honest. Don Juan cannot be his real name because Don Juan's supposed to be a nice looking guy, and this Don Juan's pretty ugly.
Please, Steve Carino.
By the way, Donnie B, a great suplex by Biohazard, and this one's over. Biohazard, the suplex technician, is your winner. Michael Shane's happy. You know what the key was? Biohazard flew. When you fly, you relax. When you drive with Rudy Boy, it smells, it stinks, you have bad.
Please, Steve.
Oh, by the way, your winner, Biohazard.
Two men set here to make their debut at Ring of Honor. Alex Arion, the Golden Greek, and Maverick Wild. These two men, two of the top stars in the New England area, here to do battle tonight in familiar territory to them. But what is unfamiliar to these two men is ROH, their rules, their code of conduct. These two men, two of the fastest rising stars on the independents, as well as two of the top men in New England, Alex Arion, the Golden Greek, and Maverick Wild.
You got to give Ring of Honor credit for giving two local kids a chance here. Alex Arion, who's been around for a while, and Maverick Wild. These two know each other so well. They're starting off very fast here, and the New England crowd knows these two, and they should get behind them real quick.
Alex Arion going for the Fujiwara. Maverick Wild counters with a nice reversal, half-arm Nelson on Alex Arion, nice deep roll through hip toss arm drag on Wild down right now. Nice tight arm bar by Arion, who has this match well in control in the early going.
Alex Arion is a guy that will stick to the the basics. He'll stick on the arm and he'll use it all match. And that's going to be a key if he wants to win this match. Maverick Wild, who's in pretty good shape here, but it just showed some power with a side slam.
Maverick Wild checking if that arm is still attached. Dumps Alex Arion. Alex Arion back to the arm drag. Has that arm bar attached nice and tight, Steve Carino. Like I said earlier, these two men, courtesy of the New England territory, Sheldon Goldberg played a big part in these two men's career. A big ups, a big thank you, a big shout out to Sheldon Goldberg for all his help on this show here at Ring of Honor. All the people here at ROH, a nice thank you to Sheldon Goldberg, a good friend, a good man. Thanks, Sheldon.
Thanks, Sheldon, and let's thank the fans of Boston who made this the highest attendance in Ring of Honor history. Over 500 people here tonight in Wakefield, Massachusetts, only 10 minutes outside of Beantown. I love saying Beantown.
I know you do, Steve Carino. Maverick Wild has Alex Arion in the corner, shoots him across the ring. Arion up and over, shoots him over the top rope. Maverick Wild, Arion, nice forearm to the head of Maverick Wild. Arion up to the top rope, once again with the head scissors on Maverick Wild. Maverick Wild over, head and shoulders. Nice deep arm drag by the dancing Zorba himself, Alex Arion.
Alex Arion staying on the arm of Maverick Wild. A couple fancy maneuvers, then back to the arm, back to the basic. Oh, that was a basic schoolyard trip there.
Maverick Wild up and over on Alex Arion. Alex Arion, the Golden Greek with a spine buster. Maverick Wild down for only a 1 count. The referee lets us know, Paul Turner, only a 1 count there, he says to Alex Arion. Arion with a nice way type bomb on Maverick Wild. Maverick Wild down.
Maverick Wild seems to be outclassed in the early goings of this match here. Two of New England's best, but Maverick Wild jumped to his feet there. A Russian leg sweep on the Greek. That's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Russian leg sweep on a Greek right there in the middle of the ring. Steve Carino, Maverick Wild. I think Alex Arion might have taken him a little too lightly. Might have thought this might be a little bit of a walk in the park here in the early going. Maverick Wild said, this ain't no late night diner meal here, Alex Arion. You're going to have a fight on your hands. And right now, Maverick Wild looking for the suplex on the Golden Greek. Alex Arion down. Maverick Wild only a 2 count lateral press. Forgot to hook the leg, Steve Carino.
And for a guy that's feuded with Alex Arion for so long in the New England area, he should have known that you can't beat an Alex Arion without hooking the leg. Maverick Wild with a wild look in his eye as he wants to defeat Alex Arion, and not in front of just the New England fans, but in front of the whole world here at Ring of Honor.
Both of these men jockeying for position here at ROH. Both of these men hoping to be asked back after their performances here tonight in Beantown. Oh, nice backdrop right there by Maverick Wild, who looked to have leapt over the body of Maverick Wild and dumped himself straight down on Alex Arion.
It was quite interesting, and there a hangman a clothesline, but Maverick Wild seems to have hurt his arm. He's got to capitalize. He's got to get on Alex Arion. Alex Arion, who I think had the advantage because he's stuck on one body part. Maverick Wild not hooking the leg. It's not going to win you a match, Maverick Wild. Somebody's got to get word to the referee to whisper in his ear, hook that man's leg or you're not going to win.
Maverick Wild right now with Alex Arion in the corner, unloads a beautiful knife edge to the chest of Alex Arion. Alex Arion had the wind knocked out of him right there. Another knife edge by Maverick Wild. He says, take this, Maverick Wild. A nice knife edge thrust chop by Alex Arion. Alex Arion with another one. Arion met with the midsection with a boot. Wild once again reverses it, taking Alex Arion, whipping him across the ring. Maverick Wild, the momentum actually carried Maverick Wild's body over.
That's some power there.
Wild once again going for that back thrust drop, whatever you call it, Steve Carino.
Super kick right to the head. This could be all.
2 count. Only a 2 count there. Alex Arion moved out of the way of that splash in the corner and met Maverick Wild with a nice super kick. 2 big overhand right. Oh, nice textbook stomp to the foot by Maverick Wild on Arion.
And into a spin kick that hit him, but looked like near the tip of the nose. I mean, Alex Arion is in big trouble right now.
Alex Arion down, Maverick Wild up. Both of these two competitors know each other so well from battling all over the New England territory for so long. Both looking to make an impression here at ROH. Maverick Wild once again with Arion chopping the bejesus out of this young man in the corner.
Whipped in the corner, Alex Arion grabs him.
Arion has both legs over the shoulder looking to pull him out. Maverick Wild straight down. Nice move by Alex Arion. Maverick Wild in a bit of trouble. Arion looking to go up to the top rope. May have Maverick Wild out a little bit too far, Steve. I'm not sure if Arion could hit. Oh, nice by Arion, but Maverick Wild had it scouted.
That's what knowing your opponent so well does. You can counteract any move he does. Into a victory roll type. He got him. Alex Arion pulls this one out in his Ring of Honor debut. Two of New England's finest professional wrestlers battling here at Ring of Honor, and Alex Arion is your winner.
Any more of those green FBI shirts left? I got
Tony, how many times am I going to tell you? Forget about the FBI. Forget about that gimmick. That gimmick's run its course. It's over. Done. Finished. Cut. Put.
You always talk. Hey, Guido. Hi.
Hey.
I want to ask you a couple questions about Street Fighter.
You could ask me a couple questions, but do me a favor. Don't call me Guido. It's James Maritano.
First of all, stop shaking hands. And in fact, secondly, all you people know about shooting is about taking some guy in a dark alley and putting it to him real good.
What? Oh, I know you didn't say that. Hey, the only show we do is in the ring. How about y'all two FBI against the Natural Born Sinners in Boston? How about it?
Well, first of all, under the circumstances, I probably, the way he's been acting, never want to be his tag team partner again. Never want to be his partner. But when a challenge is issued, a challenge is accepted. And in Boston, James Maritano and Tony Mamaluke accept the challenge. We'll see you in Boston.
Guido! What about the shirts? I'll get him back eventually.
Settle the score. Very interesting styles clash here. You have James Maritano and Tony Mamaluke against the Natural Born Sinners. This should be a very interesting matchup.
Interesting is a small word, Donnie B. This match is a result of Tony Mamaluke running his big mouth to the Natural Born Sinners last month when Boogaloo only asked James Maritano some advice on shooting. Boogaloo has a background in amateur and shoot fighting. He wanted some knowledge from a veteran like James Maritano, but Tony Mamaluke trying to put together the FBI one more time is something that James Maritano was not into. He ran his big mouth and he got this match signed because you have the amateur style, the shoot style of Boogaloo, and then the hot-tempered of Homicide, a guy that is just impresses me every time we see him, and they're up against the former FBI.
Right now, Mamaluke and Boogaloo in the middle of the ring, shoulder and elbow tie-up. Mamaluke seems to have the advantage, but do not underestimate Boogaloo. Like you just said, Steve Carino, this man is well-versed, well-accomplished in amateur shoot style. Nice go behind by Mamaluke, rides the back of Boogaloo. Boogaloo sits out, reverses it on top of Mamaluke in control. Fireman's carry by Mamaluke. Arm bar right there on Boogaloo into a front chancery neck lock. Mamaluke with nice control on Boogaloo.
Yeah, Mamaluke can go. Don't let the lack of size fool you. Mamaluke is a guy that can beat a lot of people up. He may be smaller than most of the pro wrestlers we have in Ring of Honor, but this guy can go. He can shoot, he can get on the mat, he can go high fly. Tony Mamaluke is a badass guy. And if you notice, Maritano and Mamaluke did not come out to the old FBI music. James Maritano feels they need to get serious to get to the next level. James Maritano feels like his career is like stagnant right now. He's not going up, he's not going down. He's just staying at the same level. And he doesn't want to be the FBI anymore. He wants to grow. He wants to expand. He needs to evolve. Mamaluke wants to stick with the FBI gimmick because it got them a World Tag Team title. But, that was 2 years ago. Maritado's looking towards the future. Mamaluke's looking for something that was in the past. And the Natural Born Sinners they're about today's wrestling. They may look like thugs, but you put them on the mat, they're going to out-wrestle you. You take them to the streets, they're going to out-fight you. This has a classic match written all over.
Right now, the young man trained by Dean Malenko, Tony Mamaluke. What a nice escape there on the roll through by Boogaloo with a hip toss. Boogaloo all over Mamaluke, actually confusing and frustrating Mamaluke, who skates back to the corner to the elder statesman of the team, James Maritado. Maritado looking on thus far, have to say to himself, this is impressive. When Mamaluke wants to be, he's as focused and as controlled as anybody else. But right there, a prime example of what Maritado is trying to get out of Mamaluke's system. The showboating, the chicanery, all the antics of Mamaluke, who shoots the leg right there on Boogaloo in a takedown. But that's the kind of behavior that Maritado needs to erase from the blackboard of this game plan on the former FBI member, Tony Mamaluke. This young man needs to get more serious if he and Maritado want to get to the next level.
Mamaluke seemed to be going for an ankle lock there, but Boogaloo got it before.
Boogaloo up right now. Mamaluke taunting Boogaloo with that old FBI trademark right under the chin there, and he's pointing right now. He wants Homicide in the ring. Homicide, he'll give it to you, Steve Corino. He's not afraid. And at the same time, Mamaluke tags in this elder statesman of the team, like I stated before, Maritado in the ring with Homicide and Maritado. These two can go. Don't be fooled by the outer appearance of Homicide. He's not a thug at all, Steve Corino. This man can wrestle with the best of them, and the best of them just happens to be Maritado. Maritado, a very accomplished shoot fighter, an extreme grappler in every sense of the word. This man can go. Nice roll through, nice takedown by Maritado, and Boogaloo's a little bit off balance, a little bit confused. Maybe underestimated Maritado, but if he did that, he's making a big mistake.
And you saw Maritado when he got in the ring. He's already pissed off because he sees the mannerisms of Tony Mamaluke. Tony Mamaluke still wanted to go to the FBI gimmick that Maritado does not want anything to do with. And now you have these two great athletes, Homicide and Maritado. Homicide, who's one of the most respected guys in the locker room, has made quite a name for himself in Big Japan Pro Wrestling over in the Orient, a place where originally James Maritado made his name with the old UWFI shoot fighting group. So these two have similar backgrounds with the Japanese style. And then the Homicide will take it too. Like you said, he looks like a thug, but this guy will out-wrestle many an opponent.
A modified STF there by Homicide on Maritado. Maritado reaches for the ropes to break the hold. A very surprising maneuver there by Homicide. And I tell you what, it looks like Maritado didn't expect that kind of offense from this young man. This young man, very violent, very ill-tempered when he needs to be, but very controlled, very cold and calculating on other occasions. And on this occasion, if he wants to be a man like Maritado in the middle of the ring, he's going to have to be as cold and calculating as he's ever been before. Nice front driver. Ooh, a leg dive takedown by Maritado. Did you see the way Maritado scooped that right leg out from Homicide?
Absolutely. And did you know, Donnie B, Homicide trained the Hit Squad and Low Key. This guy, Homicide, knows what he's doing, but so does James Maritado. A simple body slam that Homicide went for, James Maritado turned it into a leg lock, trying to get the submission. And if you look at James Maritado is in top physical shape. He's getting bigger, he's getting stronger. He's going back to the strong style that he did back in 1995. And that's what he thinks he needs to become successful. Homicide here can go at it any way you want. On the mat, in the street, a hardcore shoot style. This guy is an all-around athlete. You know, these guys, you've seen the Sinners before when they're out for blood, but this is the wrestling side of the Natural Born Sinners that we're going to see tonight.
Two nice knife edge chops by Homicide on Mamaluke. Mamaluke do across the ring, all the way over to the corner of the Sinners. The Sinners in full control right now as Homicide tags Boogaloo back in the ring. These two men experts at double teaming, at taking full advantage of their opponent in the ring when it comes to this type of tag team technique. Nice inverted atomic drop there, Mamaluke into the Boston Crab by Homicide. Homicide into the camel clutch. Steve Corino, that's one hell of a painful looking maneuver right there on Mamaluke. Mamaluke is in a world of hurt. Oh, and a Fujiwara! Homicide shoots the Fujiwara. Boogaloo shoots the Fujiwara on James Maritato. Both of these men in submission holds as we speak.
And it's a move that James Maritato has perfected. The Fujiwara armbar is a move that James Maritato has been using for years, that he learned from the Fujiwara family. So Boogaloo, in 1994-95, Sunshine State champion in amateur wrestling, as well as winning multiple state, district, regional, and metro titles in the amateur ranks, is a student of the game. He knows what James Maritato studied, and he studied it himself. And I think James Maritato was very shocked to be caught in that Fujiwara. Oh, a power bomb onto the knee of Homicide.
Little extra leverage there by Homicide with that power bomb on Mamaluke. Mamaluke seemed almost to be out of it right there, Steve Corino, and Homicide wasting a little bit of time there admonishing the referee. Steve Corino, the referees thus far tonight have done an outstanding job, I think, of keeping control when it needs to be kept. Homicide outside the ring. Mamaluke meets him with the knee right to the midsection. Mamaluke taking the head of Homicide, draping it over the second rope, clubbing forearm by Mamaluke, who once again is on the attack and drapes Homicide over the top rope into the corner where Maritato awaits. Maritato in the ring right now. Continue the assault on Homicide. Maritato looks like a man possessed here, Steve Corino. He needs to prove something here at ROH. He wants to get back on track from the stagnicity that he's incurred over the last few months, and he may just be able to do that with a victory tonight.
Yeah, James Maritato, talent has never been anything he's been lacking. James Maritato has been stuck with partners. He's been stuck in bad gimmicks. James Maritato now wants to make his own break. And you mentioned the referees, how good they are. You got a Paul Turner, a Ref Hansen, a Mike Keener. In my opinion, those are the three best referees in the wrestling business today.
Ooh, nice shin breaker by Mamaluke, who shoots the dragon screw on Homicide. Homicide in a little bit of world of hurt right now. And Mamaluke with a nice inverted grapevine. Haven't really seen that technique too much before, Steve Corino. Interesting variation, almost a lion-type maneuver on the right leg of Homicide, who could give it up right here in the middle of the ring. That is one painful submission.
And you look at how Homicide's body is positioned. He's putting pressure on the thigh, the hamstring, the inner thigh, the knee, the ankle, and the lower back. There's 5 places that are being hurt right now. Homicide needs to find the ropes very quickly.
Homicide inching his way ever so close to the ropes. Boogaloo with the outstretched hand, waiting the outstretched foot, trying to aid Homicide any way he can. Mamaluke still has the submission on, must let go. Referee Paul Turner lets him know. Boogaloo outside the ring, Homicide inside the ring, feeling the effects of that submission hold. Mamaluke well in control of the matchup right now for his team. Maritato waiting on the outside, shouting words of encouragement to Mamaluke, who seems to be on track in this matchup right now against the Sinners as he ascends the top rope. Steve Corino, nice clubbing forward to the back of the skull of Homicide.
Tony Mamaluke sticking with the game plan. Work on the lower back of Homicide. You know what Homicide's finishing maneuver is? The cop killer. He needs the lower back to pick up his opponent to drop him on his head. The cop killer, one of the most devastating finishing maneuvers in the entire sport of professional wrestling. But if your lower back's done, you're not going to be able to get that drop your opponent on his head like that. And a great German suplex, holds on with a beautiful bridge, gets a 2 count. Homicide kicks out.
Only a 2 count there after a nice series of reversals off of the German suplex. Homicide, the victim of the German suplex. Mamaluke only a 2 count. Maritato waiting anxiously on the outside of the ring, as is Boogaloo. Mamaluke with a scoop slam attempt on Homicide. Homicide reverses a T-bone type suplex on Mamaluke. Homicide once again on Mamaluke, goes for a second T-bone suplex. Mamaluke, this might be it, Steve.
2 exploder suplexes by Homicide there. Didn't quite drop him on the back of his back of the shoulders, the top of the neck, like most exploder suplexes are. Oh, Maritato went for a drop kick. Boogaloo anticipated it, and he got out of the way. Boogaloo now all over James Maritato. And Tony Mamaluke went for an elbow and missed. And that cannot make James Maritato happy. A big stunning elbow by Boogaloo, and the natural born sinners have the advantage.
advantage. Right now, Boogaloo whips Maritato into the ropes. Maritato off. Front Ocean Cyclone wheelbarrow off drag into the Fujiwara by Maritato. Beautiful escape hold there by Maritato. Able to counter what appeared to be an Ocean Cyclone suplex setup by Boogaloo, but Maritato counters and Boogaloo makes his way to the rope, thus negating the hold.
Yeah, Boogaloo was smart. He didn't let the arm be fully extended up, because if he did, then he was in big trouble.
Well, Maritato just went for that.
Oh,
Ace
Crusher!
Ace Crusher by Homicide on Maritato. Only a 2 count there. Homicide ever so close in this one. Homicide right now outside the ring, ascending to the top rope. Maritato down in the middle of the ring. Homicide cut off before he could do any further damage. Mamaluke inside the ring. Mamaluke takes his time. A nice right uppercut right to the face of Homicide. Mamaluke now up to the top rope. He has Homicide in what appears to be a superplex position, Steve. If he hits this one, it could be over.
Oh, a big superplex, and now he's got him in. He's stretching him in. Look at the pressure on the back of Homicide. He may be ready to tap out. Oh!
Both men from each team hits the respective opponent in the head with a Mafia-style kick. Oh! Maritato sails through the ropes outside the ring. He landed hard, Steve. Mamaluke left in the middle of the ring to fend for himself as both members of the Sinners right now. There it is! Homicide looking to lock on that pop killer.
But the weakness of the lower back really hurt him there. Into a big victory roll.
No! 2 count. Mamaluke able to roll through. Once again, Homicide looking to lock in that cop killer if he hits it. Oh! That's got to be it, Steve. The cop killer by Homicide. And it's the 3 count.
And it's obvious that the FBI, or in Maritato's opinion, the old FBI, are not on the same page. But we are going to see both these teams in the tag team tournament September 21st in Philadelphia in first round matches.
Here, but I have to say, Maritato is one of the physically fit. And right there, Briscoe. Mark Briscoe's walking away from the ring.
He's walking away from his own brother.
And Jay seems to be a little bit confused. And Maritato capitalizes right there, hits the kiss of death. An easy 3 count after the kiss of death, and Mark seems almost ecstatic. He seems overjoyed.
Come on, Jay, let's go. Rod's leaving.
Mark, what's your problem? Why the hell are you laughing?
Your match, you lost again. You can't touch me, Jay. This is Pennsylvania. I ain't 18 years old. You'll lose your wrestling license. You know something, Mark? Next month, Ring of Honor is going to be in Boston. There is no commission up there, Mark. You don't have to worry about your license. I can touch you all I want up there, Mark. I'm challenging you right now, August 24th, Boston. Me versus you. Hey, you just lose again.
With a 45-minute time limit. And his opponent, weighing in 200 pounds, from Southern
Carino, this is one match that I've been waiting for very anxiously over the last few months. The Briscoe brothers, Mark and Jay, set to do battle here on the ground of Beantown. As you know, Jay Briscoe has had a losing streak here at ROH, while his brother Mark has sat back and made fun of his older brother. And Jay has said, enough is enough. Let's settle it here tonight in Beantown. Let's get it on one-on-one, mano-a-mano, brother to brother, and what a way to start the match.
Yeah, we got a sibling rivalry here in Boston, Massachusetts, as Mark and Jay Briscoe are finally going to see who is the best Briscoe. As many people know, at 17 years old, Mark Briscoe cannot wrestle in the state of Pennsylvania because of the State Athletic Commission. And I think, in my opinion, Mark's a little jealous because Jay, the spotlight's on Jay. A lot of people are calling Jay, a future superstar here at Ring of Honor. And, Mark wants to be a future superstar too. And so when he had the opportunity to come to Boston, the State Athletic Commission would let him wrestle. He wanted to wrestle his older brother. He wanted to prove that he was the best. And he's been taunting him over the last few months. We've seen it, Donnie B. Mark Briscoe's been taunting Jay. Every time Jay loses, Mark laughs. Every time Jay wins, Mark gets really hot. So it's an amazing sibling rivalry here, and hopefully they can work it out because I think they have the potential to be one great tag team.
Mark Briscoe and Jay trading a vicious series of reversals. Right now, Jay on top of Mark into a sleeper-type maneuver with the legs locked around his younger brother. Take that, younger brother, if you will. Jay Briscoe has a lot to prove here to everybody, but mostly to his younger brother, that you don't talk crap on the older brother. That's one of the perennial rules, Steve Carino. And right now, younger brother Mark has what appears to be a very painful submission hold on Jay.
Wait a second, Donnie, you don't talk crap on your brother?
Yes, I do, Steve Carino.
So do I. It's one of the most fun things I do during my day. But Jay's had a tough time in Ring of Honor, losing more than he's won. But at only 18, he's gained some great experience. I'm sure Jay would love to end his losing ways and shut his brother up here tonight in Boston. But you know what? Both these kids have a great future ahead of them. Mark at 17, Jay at 18. These kids are way before their time. When most kids are thinking about high school, the prom, trying to get to third base with their girlfriend, or in your brother's sense, or boyfriend, these guys are thinking about how to become the best professional wrestler that they can be. And, it's an honor for them to compete in Ring of Honor at such a young age. So, they have the sibling rivalry, but they also have a lot of honor and pride at stake here, too.
Jay Briscoe with the modified STF there on brother Mark. Mark rolls through, has the arm lock right now on Jay, working the upper body, working the arm. Jay rolls through, nice arm drag takedown on Jay by Mark Briscoe. Jay reverses the full Nelson. Mark reverses another duck underneath. Jay Briscoe with fireman's carry on Mark, has the arm bar right now on younger brother Mark. And this match has been very even so far, Steve. Obviously, and this is a very obvious point, Steve, these two men know each other extremely well. They've grown up together. They've known each other their whole lives. Nice cartwheel roll through by Mark. Back again with the arm twist. Mark down, Jay up in the middle of the ring. Leg dive, takedown. Mark shoots Jay off into the ropes. Jay up and over on Mark. Jay stops, puts the brakes on, says, Nice knife edge to his brother Mark. Another knife edge right to Mark. Mark into the ropes right now. Off the ropes, up and over on brother Jay. Brother Jay with a hip toss. Mark lands on his feet. Big haymaker misses. Off the ropes, duck underneath. Nice north suplex by Mark Briscoe on Jay. Almost had a surprise 3 count there, Steve, and I think Jay is a little hesitant.
Donnie B, you know what surprises me about the Briscoes?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, he got cocky.
Look at that. That's disrespectful.
It's definitely disrespectful, but you know what surprises me? The kids at 18 and 17 years old, the amount of knowledge they have of chain wrestling is way beyond their years. It takes guys at least 3 to 5 years of intense training to learn the moves that these two kids have right now. These two are naturals, and Mark is a little cocky, Jay very humble, but you know what? These two are unbelievable athletes, and they're putting on one hell of a match right now.
Well, as you saw right there, as both men went for the test of strength, I think Mark did something very clever, Steve. He knows that Jay is bigger and stronger, so what did he do? He took the leverage advantage, and it paid off right there. A big shoulder tackle by Jay. Mark down in the middle of the ring. Thus far, you'd have to give the strength advantage to Jay, but the quickness I would have to give to Mark, which makes this pretty even. Duck under, whip into the ropes. Jay off the ropes. Mark misses the right. Big Yakuza kick right to Mark. And Mark down and outside the ring, taking a much-needed breather right now.
And Donnie B, I've just been handed this. Jay Briscoe is signed to wrestle the Amazing Red in a rematch of their Era of Honor Begins Classic on Ring of Honor's next video release to be taped Saturday night, September 21st in South Philadelphia. Can Jay even the score? Also on that videotape, it will feature an 8-team tag team tournament to determine the first Ring of Honor tag team champions. You can get the tape or DVD or both at rfvideo.com or by calling the office at 215-891-9404 for over 5,000 videotapes, RF Video, or check out ROHWrestling.com for more information on upcoming shows and everything that's going on here at Ring of Honor.
Right now, Mark Briscoe outside the ring in full control of his brother Jay. Steve Corino, if you ask me, this has been a match for the ages. These two brothers have given it all there thus far, and I cannot believe the absolute brutality that Mark has inflicted upon his brother Jay.
Oh, right into the ring post. Oh my God! Did you see his head pop off the pole?
Jay, get up!
And Mark's just, adding
berating
his brother right now
in a despicable fashion. Mark Briscoe hovering over the body of Jay Briscoe, yelling at him, taunting him. Get up, Jay! Get up! Let's finish this once and for all. This is disgusting, Steve Corino. That one brother could do this to another.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh, Jay Briscoe has been and look at that. Look at the haynility of that act, Steve Corino. Mark Briscoe not showing any remorse at all. Busting open his own flesh and blood, making the wound even more severe than it is, Steve Corino. That's disgusting. Steve Corino, there's no place for that in ROH, and there's no place for that at the Briscoe Diner.
You know, I followed the career of the Briscoe brothers over the last few years. This is the first time Jay Briscoe has even been busted open, and Mark is taking full advantage of it, Donnie B. He's trying to open that cut up on his brother. I can't even believe it. Here's a guy, his own flesh and blood, and all he's caring about is drawing the blood of his own brother. What is Mark Briscoe's thinking right there and over the head? Belly to belly suplex. Maybe he's thinking he's got to not only beat his brother, but he's got to humiliate them. I don't really have a brother that has been in professional wrestling, so I don't know what it is to have a sibling rivalry of a person that you share a common bond with. But this is an amazing match here we got right here. But I think Mark Briscoe is too intense. He's not thinking of the big picture. The big picture should be winning this match and going on to eventually be in title contention for the Ring of Honor Championship belt. But Mark Briscoe is looking for revenge, but for what reason?
As you see the life plasma flow from the head of older brother Jay Briscoe, you have to say to yourself, Steve Corino, as Mark punches the wound even further open, you have to say to yourself, this has gone way beyond sibling rivalry. Steve, this is out and out debauchery. This is almost illegal. Jay Briscoe at the hands of Mark Briscoe has been busted open.
Oh, right at the top of the head.
Well-placed thrust kick right to the top of the head of Jay. Well-placed, I say, because Jay knew exactly what was coming. Mark Briscoe hit that right on the mark and continues to bust open older brother Jay. Steve, like I said, this is way beyond sibling rivalry.
And he's going after the cut. He's going after the top of the head. The spin kick hit him in the top of the head where the cut was made. He's punching him in the head where the cut was made. It's unbelievable the determination that Mark Briscoe has right there on his brother. He's making his brother even uglier right now.
I didn't know that was possible, Steve Corino, but Mark Briscoe right now pounding away in the already injured forehead of Jay Briscoe in the corner. Knife edge to the throat of Jay. Jay Briscoe is in a world of hurt right now, Steve Corino. He needs to dig down deep. He needs to realize that he's in the ring with not his younger brother, but an opponent. He needs to get on track. He needs to start dishing out some punishment to Mark.
I think that's what Jay Briscoe was thinking in the beginning few minutes. This is his brother. This is his bone, flesh, and blood. And did you see his neck twist? That's dangerous. That DDT that Mark Briscoe actually held on to, much like Shinya Hashimoto does in Japan, which makes it even more devastating. Too many wrestlers let go of the DDT to have a real effective DDT. You hold on to it so your opponent's head smacks off the mat.
One of those headstand DDTs right there. Jay Briscoe up. stomps the right hand of Mark Briscoe. Very sound strategy, Steve. That right hand has done considerable damage to the fleshy forehead of Jay Briscoe, and if he can't use that right hand to form a fist, he can no longer inflict punishment on that open wound as Jay Briscoe hits the fallout driver right there on younger brother Mark Briscoe. Jay seems to have turned the tide as he once again stomps on the hand, softening up the knuckles and the wrist of Mark Briscoe. Jay Briscoe ascending to the top rope right now. Mark shoots out the right leg. Mark Briscoe takes brother Jay Briscoe up on the top rope. Paul Turner yelling at Mark Briscoe, telling him maybe even to ease up a bit, Steve. This is a little bit too graphic for brothers. And Jay Briscoe shoots Mark off the top rope.
Springboard ace crusher right there. That's got to be it.
Beautiful maneuver there by Mark Briscoe on brother Jay. Jay's got to have that blood in the eyes. This could be it. Oh, only a 2 count, Steve. He's got to have that blood in the eyes. That sweat. He can't possibly be able to see as clear as Mark. And Mark is capitalizing on that. Right there you saw maybe if his eyes were clear, he would have seen that coming from the left side. But he has absolutely no vision to the left, no vision to the right. That blood is in the eyes, and there's no possible way he can see as clear as Mark. Mark Briscoe, 2 nice knee drops to the head, capitalizing on the fact that that right hand has been damaged. He's now using his knee to soften up the head of brother Jay.
And Donnie B, I don't know if you've ever bled in the ring, but I've bled plenty of times, and the first few times that you bleed, it's a very scary moment. You kind of get used to it over the career, but those first couple times, your heart pounds. It's an anxiety because you don't know if this blood's going to stop. You don't know how deep the cut is going to be. You don't know how to work around it. And that's what Jay Briscoe must be thinking now, because this is the first time he's bled. This kid's played football at Laurel High School in Delaware. This kid's done everything, but he's never bled from the forehead in a professional wrestling match. And bleeding from the forehead and actually wrestling for another few minutes is very dangerous. And when the heart's pounding, your mind's off. When your heart's pounding, you're not breathing right. When you're not breathing right, you're blown up. And you're not going to be able to do your high-impact maneuvers that a Jay Briscoe's used to doing. That's where Mark Briscoe could take a great opportunity. Springboard into a leg screw there. Unbelievable comeback right there by Jay Briscoe.
Nice dragon screw there by Jay Briscoe, thus negating any more aerial offense by his brother Mark, hoping to cut out the legs of Mark, hoping to get Mark down to a horizontal base where he can probably apply one of those submission holds, possibly even set him up for the Jay Driller. Jay Briscoe putting his brother Mark up on the top rope right now. Steve, I've said it once, I've said it before, this has gone way beyond sibling rivalry. Right now you see Jay getting a little more flustered, a little more heated as he drop kicks Mark Briscoe, who's hung up in that tree of woe right in the face in the corner.
Yeah, I think they've forgotten that these guys are brothers. These guys are just competing. An unbelievable went from the torture rack into a backbreaker. Did you see Mark Briscoe's back twist? That was dangerous. It looks like Jay Briscoe setting up for a lariat into an exploder suplex.
Nice exploder suplex by Mark Briscoe. Brother Jay feeling the brunt of it on the head and shoulders. Outside the ring right now, Mark inside the ring. Brother Jay hoping to catch a little bit of a breather, maybe wipe some of that blood and sweat out of the eyes, but Mark says, no way, brother, sorry about that. Oh, and he goes up
right on the knee.
Springboard, but that knee that was worked on so cleverly by Jay just a few moments ago has seemed to have given out on brother Mark.
Oh, and it gave Jay extra time to recuperate. When Mark went to go over the top rope again, Jay wasn't there. Mark's on the floor, hurt knee, hurt elbows. Now the tide has turned. Mark's in control, and I'm sorry, Jay's in control, Mark's in trouble, but Mark there with a textbook arm to the clown.
Low blow by Mark Briscoe, pounding in the forehead by Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe has forgotten that he is fighting his brother Jay in the ring tonight, and he thinks to himself he's going to pull out all the stops as he clutches that right knee. He doesn't care if he blows that right knee out. Mark Briscoe has one goal in mind, Steve Carino, successful debut here in ROH. That's the only thing on this young man's mind. Only a 2 count there. Paul Turner lets us know. Very close to a 3 as Mark clamps on the side lock sleeper right there. Jay Briscoe's in a lot of trouble, Steve. That blood keeps flowing. Mark Briscoe right now standing up with the headlock. Jay shoots out of it with a couple of forearms. Jay off the ropes, ducks the clothesline. Mark up and over, big clubbing forearm to Jay Driller. Look, Jay Driller. Uh-oh. Mark countering the Jay Driller up and over the shoulder. Mark Briscoe 2 kicks. Jay Briscoe once again looking for that Jay Driller drop. Mark right on down the spine. Nice power bomb by Jay Briscoe. Both Briscoe brothers down in the middle of the ring. And Steve, this is a battle to see who can get to their feet first.
This is a classic battle. You've seen classic battles between brothers before, but never like this. The Briscoes are giving the fans of Ring of Honor their whole money's worth in one match. The Briscoe brothers feud here has cultivated in Beantown. This is great. The intensity of Mark Briscoe, I think it's because he knows he's in there with his brother and he's got something to prove. Who's the best Briscoe? The tenacity of Jay Briscoe. This match is unbelievable.
Steve Corino as Jay Briscoe hooks in the suplex. You have to wonder to yourself, this isn't just a few months of animosity. This is a lifetime of animosity as we see a German suplex by Mark on Jay, but only a 2 count. You've got to wonder to yourself, how was it growing up in the Briscoe household? These two men must have been struggling their whole lives. Mark living in the shadow of Jay for who knows how long, Steve. Who got the cooler Halloween costumes? Who got the better Christmas gifts? Who got the more portions at dinner time? We don't know what exactly is transpiring.
Oh,
as we see a
dragon
nice full
suplex.
Nelson Dragon suplex there. Steve Corino, these seeds have been planted way before these two men stepped in ROH. These seeds have been planted many, many years ago, and right now Mark seems to be on the receiving end of all the punishment Jay has dished out, but he keeps coming back. He's got something to prove, Steve. Fisherman Buster suplex.
A beautiful Fisherman Buster suplex on the back of the neck, top of the shoulders of Jay Briscoe. Mark Briscoe going up top now.
Mark Briscoe up to the top rope. Jay in the middle of the ring as Mark clutches the leg, goes for the moonsault. That extra second that he took attending to that injured knee was all Jay needed to hit that flying, powerful lariat right there. And Mark is down. Jay Briscoe up. Jay Briscoe scoops up. Death Valley driver. Hooks in the leg tight. 1-2. Only a 2 count, Steve. I thought perhaps we had a 3 count there. Jay's in disbelief. He can't believe that his younger brother Mark kicked out of that Death Valley driver.
And look at the people here in Wakefield, Massachusetts, up off their feet. Could we have another Match of the Year candidate? Could Mark Briscoe be a Match of the Year candidate in his Ring of Honor debut? Unbelievable. This match is great. The fans of Boston really showing their appreciation.
Both men went for their finishing maneuvers. Mark countered the Jay Driller. Jay was able to counter the cutthroat driver. Jay Briscoe hit what appeared to be one of those Emerald Fusion type drops in the middle of the ring on Mark. Jay Briscoe is sending the top rope right now, perhaps trying to finish Mark off once and for all. Bombs away, senton back suplex, but he missed Steve Corino. He missed the back senton. Climbing Shining Wizard there by Mark Briscoe right into the mush of Jay Briscoe. Jay right now in a world of hurt. Cutthroat driver.
Oh, my, they dropped him on his head. He dropped him on his head. This could be it. Mark Briscoe wins in his debut. Mark Briscoe has beaten his older brother Jay Briscoe here, Ring of Honor in Boston, Massachusetts. He has proven that he can beat his own brother.
And Steve Corino, I think we've just witnessed it. I think we have another Match of the Year candidate. Mark Briscoe versus Jay Briscoe. Another Match of the Year candidate at ROH.
Absolutely.
Jay, I'm 1-0 in Ring of Honor. You think about that, brother?
We remind you that Ring of Honor returns here to the American Civic Center.
Steve Corino, we are now set for what promises to be an incredible match. Low Ki against AJ Styles. Steve Corino, fill the viewers in on exactly what's at stake here tonight.
Well, you fans are witnessing is a rematch of their Match of the Year candidate at a night of appreciation. Since Low Ki won the Ring of Honor title last month in another Match of the Year candidate at Crowning of a Champion in that 1 hour marathon Iron Man match with Christopher Daniels, Doug Williams, Spanky. This is his first ever Ring of Honor title defense against the man he defeated in controversial fashion, AJ Styles. This match promises to be nice and stiff.
You know, Steve Corino, you talk about Match of the Year candidates. One of my pet peeves, one of the things that bother me so much, and nowadays in this sport, in this industry, every promotion out there claims on every show that they have a Match of the Year candidate. But here at ROH, here at Ring of Honor, they actually back it up. They actually prove it. Buy the videotapes. Check out what everybody's talking about. Each and every match that Low Ki has been involved in is a Match of the Year candidate. This is no hype. This is no bluff. This is no BS between two backyarders in a barn that smash objects on their face. This is the real deal. Low Ki and AJ Styles are in the ring hooking it up right now. And what's at stake? The ROH title.
And if you don't believe us, you can check out rfvideo.com, check out over 5,000 tapes, or call 215-891-9404. And for the latest Ring of Honor news and information, check out ROHWrestling.com, or call the number and talk to the guys personally at 215-891-9404 as we're watching Low Ki stretch AJ Styles in ways that the human body should not be stretched.
Low Ki right now has AJ Styles' legs all wrapped up, and everyone knows that AJ Styles is looking to hit that Styles clash, and he can't do it if one of those legs isn't working. Low Ki on the quick offensive. AJ Styles very quick to cut Low Ki off at the pass, ties up the legs of Low Ki. And Steve Corino, you know very well that Low Ki's primary offensive weapon is that left leg and that right leg. Those things can cut down tall timbers. Low Ki, if he can't kick you, then a large majority of his offense is cut out. AJ Styles with an inverted STO type of maneuver, inverted STF type of hangman's neck breaker. Low Ki steps out, and right there you saw what I was just talking about. A nice front short kick to the jaw of AJ Styles. Not really meant to do much damage other than throw you off base a little bit, but you've seen in the past, as with Prince Nana, he can knock you out with those kicks.
He can knock anybody out with these kicks, but I'll tell you why I like AJ Styles and Low Ki. These two are technicians. They always know where they're at in the ring. You look at a Low Ki and you look at an AJ Styles, they're evenly matched. Both men kick hard. Both men know the mat game. Both men know the high flying game. You have two great finishers. You have Low Ki, who has the key crusher. You have AJ Styles with the Styles Clash. Both effective finishers. These two are evenly matched. And this time, you go in with AJ Styles. He's chasing the champion, the ROH champion Low Ki. And knowing me being a man that's held 2 world titles, going into an important title match as these guys are going into it with the Ring of Honor Championship title on the line, you have to be thinking of wearing your opponent down. You're not going to go in there for 3, 4, 5 minutes. You're going to go in there for 15, 20, 25. You want to wear your opponent down because you want him to be at his weakest when you defeat him. AJ Styles knows how to win. He's beaten Low Ki before in other promotions, but this is Ring of Honor. This is the major leagues of where it's supposed to happen. Low Ki taking the kicks from AJ Styles, and as you notice, 2 times now, Low Ki's gone for big kicks. AJ Styles is backed away to the ropes. Is he scared? No, he's just smart. These two know each other so well. These two are enjoyable to watch.
Well, what you just saw, in my opinion, Steve Corino, was a very big mistake by AJ Styles trying to trade front chancery kicks with Low Ki. That's almost an impossibility, Steve Corino. Nobody can trade kicks with Low Ki. As Low Ki and Styles tie up in the middle of the ring, AJ Styles with a nice arm bar on Low Ki, hoping to somehow cut off some of the offense of Low Ki. If he can't get the job done on the legs, let's go up top. Let's try to cut out some of that striking power Low Ki has in those hands. Nice tight arm bar by AJ Styles on Low Ki, who looks to throw AJ Styles off balance by wrapping that left leg around the left leg of AJ Styles. Low Ki hoping to gain a little bit of leverage, a little bit of dexterity there by AJ Styles to scoot that half Nelson in, trying to tie up Low Ki. A 2 count there, almost snuck out of here with a quick victory.
And Low Ki's dangerous on the mat. Look at him. He's like a snake. When you back a snake up into the corner, he's going to strike. Ki is down on the mat. He's looking to kick AJ Styles, or he's looking to take him down to the mat. Low Ki is a very dangerous pro wrestler and a mixed martial arts fighter. This guy has it all. AJ Styles has seen this many times, and he just kicked Low-Ki in the back of the head. Low-Ki may be out.
Wheelbarrow kick there by AJ Styles on Low-Ki as Low-Ki was on the mat. Steve, not since Antonio Inoki have fought Muhammad Ali have I seen that style. Low-Ki on his back, kicking straight forward. He's almost impossible to stop when you're down there on the mat like that. Very smart strategy by Low-Ki. Stay on the back, keep kicking forward. Nice judo hip toss throw by Low-Ki. Has AJ Styles perpendicular on the mat. Tight vice-like headlock right there applied by Low-Ki on Styles. Styles just barely keeping that right shoulder up on the mat. Paul Turner checking to see if there's a pinfall. Now Styles bashing the jaw of Low-Ki. Drops him down into a leg scissors. Low-Ki in a little bit of trouble right now. Styles needs to turn up the heat, needs to put the pressure on. Low-Ki comes into this match, an offensive juggernaut. AJ Styles able to keep pace. He might have a chance. Low-Ki with that thunderous overhand chop right there says, AJ Styles, you want this title over my dead body.
And Low-Ki's coming in. Look, he's measuring him up for the chop, and that one hard chop, probably the hardest chop in the sport today. Low-Ki will wear you down with chops. When other guys are chopping just to, get the sound out of it, to insult you, Low-Ki's going out there to actually put his hand through your chest.
Low-Ki could chop ice with that. I'm telling you, Steve Carino, that's how hard it hits. I have seen men come in the back after matches with their chests absolutely torn apart from Low-Ki's chop. Low-Ki with a vertical press right there, only a 2 count. Referee Paul Turner doing a great job in this matchup, as of all the referees on the show tonight. Low-Ki right now with AJ Styles well in control. Another thunderous chop to the trapezoid area of AJ Styles, who scoots up with a Frankenstein type maneuver on Low-Ki, but Low-Ki able to block and thrust kicks him right in the back of the kidneys. Low-Ki had that move well scouted.
These two know each other so well. Low-Ki is just a student of the game. I've been to places with Low-Ki. The man sits in his hotel room and just studies. He's like a scouting reporter. He's like a manager of a baseball team or a general manager of a football team. He is looking for ways to beat each and every one of his opponents.
Nice thrust kick there by Low-Ki on AJ Styles, who may have hesitated only a second too long. And a scoop up head scissors type maneuver by AJ Styles. Steve Carino caught Low-Ki off guard just a little bit there. Styles in on Low-Ki. A couple of big right hands and a couple of cross chops right to the chest of Low-Ki. A nice forearm there. Low-Ki into the ropes. Off back mule kick by AJ Styles onto Low-Ki, who is down in the middle of the ring. And for the first time in a long time, Steve, Low-Ki seems to be a little bit shaked up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Low-Ki is not at the advantage right now. AJ Styles is taking the initiative and he's taking the fight to Low-Ki, but Low-Ki takes the fight right back to AJ Styles by kicking out his knee, and this is not a good place for AJ Styles to be right now, because you're going to see some roundhouses.
Nice roundhouse to the chest, another roundhouse to the chest by Low-Ki on AJ Styles, and Low-Ki sets up for that big third roundhouse kick, but AJ has it scouted. Sweep kicks the legs of Low-Ki properly. Low-Ki may have taken a few seconds too long. The problem with that maneuver, so many people have seen it. As AJ Styles goes for the Styles Clash, Low-Ki tried to use one of AJ's moves against him. Styles went for the Styles Clash, but Low-Ki blocked it with a reverse thrust kick right to the bridge of the nose on Styles. Styles in one corner, Low-Ki in the other. Both men squaring off with the ROH title at stake.
And now they're back up to a vertical base here. Both men go back to their basics, but a knee strike there by AJ Styles takes Low-Ki down, stunning him for a second. But Low-Ki's back with a regular kick right to the stomach into one of those hard knife-edge chops.
Steve, I don't think there's any such thing as a regular kick when you're dealing with Low-Ki. Headbutt to the skull of AJ Styles by Low-Ki. Low-Ki's offense, very unorthodox, very hard to plan for. You don't know if you're going to get hit with a kick, a punch. You don't know what's coming when you're in the room with Low-Ki. But nice thrusting lariat by AJ Styles brings Low-Ki down hard. If you saw right there, AJ Styles was barely able to get out of the way of a charging Low-Ki. And now Low-Ki outside the ring for a breather. Low-Ki saying to himself, perhaps I've underestimated AJ Styles just a little bit on this night. AJ Styles in the ring right now, coming off the ropes, charging through the middle. Low-Ki meets him right in the head with a spin wheel kick. AJ draped over the second rope, just hanging there. And look at the intensity on Low-Ki's face. He is angry.
Low-Ki and AJ Styles are what makes Ring of Honor so great. They're the guys that make this code of honor really mean something. Two honorable guys. Two guys that Either one of them would make a great champion to lead Ring of Honor into bigger and better things. And bigger and better things, as you see tonight here, over 500 people here in Wakefield, Massachusetts, and they're watching Low-Ki, the Ring of Honor champion, hitting Kawada kicks right to the face of a fallen AJ Styles. Unbelievable. He's up to 10. Misses one. AJ Styles goes for the German. Low-Ki blocks it twice, 3 times into a victory roll. Roll back up. He's dangerous at this point. Big chop.
Low-Ki off the ropes, went for that jumping sidekick. AJ Styles blocks it into the German suplex, but hangs on. AJ Styles has Low-Ki right up. Oh, front face driver type maneuver. Low-Ki down in the middle of the ring. How AJ Styles was able to come back from that series of quad kicks, I have no idea, Steve Corino. Each one of those kicks landed with pinpoint accuracy. I don't know how AJ Styles is able to breathe at this point. He has to be busted open, and he is. Steve Corino was those quad kicks, those dangerous knife edge like kicks by Low-Ki have busted open AJ Styles once again here at Ring of Honor.
And you see AJ Styles, who's not used to bleeding, has bled a lot here at Ring of Honor. This man has been getting beat up, and he's going for the Styles Clash. He hits his Styles Clash. We have a new Ring of Honor champion, but Low-Ki comes back. Beautiful Hurricanrana holding him down.
Jumping Hurricanrana blocked there by Low-Ki on the Styles Clash. As you saw, Steve, AJ Styles was trying so hard to hook that left arm over for the Styles Clash, but he was unable to do it. Low-Ki using that phenomenal abdominal strength, scooted up in the air and hit a jumping Hurricanrana to block the Styles Clash attempt. Very impressive move by Low-Ki that may be overlooked by others, but you and I, Steve Corino, being the journalists that we are, we're able to pick up on it.
Oh, absolutely. Donnie B, Steve Corino, students of the game, but we enjoy the action of AJ Styles and Low-Ki so much, just like all the fans here in Wakefield, Massachusetts, just like all the fans that are watching the videotapes and the DVDs are watching High Impact TV. This is where it's at, folks. Ring of Honor is where it's at. You people are sick and tired of being insulted by sports entertainment. Well, pro wrestling is back, and its name is Ring of Honor.
AJ Styles, 2 back forearms to Low-Ki, who once again kicks AJ Styles in the lower kidney, the lower back, goes up to the top rope, signals to the crowd that this may be it. Low-Ki, reverse dragon type sleeper maneuver in the tree of woe. Both men in the corner right now. Steve, the referee is going to have to break that hold or something's going to give. AJ Styles down. I don't know if AJ Styles is conscious.
And the people at home have to wonder, how much does that really hurt? Well, you're going to have to really notice that these ropes are made by elevator cable. Elevator cable is what makes up these ropes, covered with a little bit of garden hose type substance and electrical tape. That is what you're hitting. You're hitting elevator cable that holds people. So it's strong. It hurts. It's hurting Low-Ki, but he thinks that if he can wear down AJ Styles, it's well worth it.
Right there, AJ Styles looking for perhaps a razor's edge type maneuver. Low-Ki able to battle back, shoots AJ into the ropes. AJ reverses, duck under, looking for a fallaway slam. Oh! Reverse over the shoulder front face driver type maneuver by AJ Styles on Low-Ki. Steve Corino, I've never seen that before. That was one hell of a maneuver. AJ Styles down, bleeding profusely from that barrage of Kawada kicks earlier in the match. Low-Ki right now in a lot of trouble. Oh, I thought we almost had a 3 count, Steve. Just a 2 count. AJ Styles seems to be breathing a little bit heavy right now. Low-Ki's breathing heavy. These 2 men are emptying both barrels, filling out the gas tank right here in the middle of the ring, Steve Corino. That's how bad they want the ROH title. And AJ Styles hits a nice body slam right there on Low-Ki as he ascends to the top rope one more time.
And AJ Styles is going up, and when he's up top, he's dangerous. What could this be?
Whoa,
oh, did you see his head?
Off the top rope as AJ Styles' head just bounced right off the canvas. Steve Corino, I can tell you what, this young man will have an Excedrin headache tomorrow morning. Low-Ki capitalizes on the mistake. 1, 2, 2 and 9/10. That is as close as we've seen in this matchup so far. Low-Ki back in control. Another short thrust kick to the back of the spine of AJ Styles, locking in that dragon sleeper right there on AJ. AJ may be forced to tap out here. He's a little bit too far from the ropes. AJ needs to hold on. He needs to break this hold.
Yeah, AJ, oh, and now He's sitting back. I thought for a second there he was tapping. He's getting close to tapping. That's the same move that Divine tapped to earlier tonight. It's a miracle that AJ Styles was able to hold on. The only thing that saved him was his proximity to the ropes. If he was farther out in the middle of the ring, I think we may have had a victor. That's right, and he would have got that win by submission. What a great way to have your first title defense here, Ring of Honor, to go out with a submission victory. Low-key attempted to go up and over on the shoulder of AJ Styles. Styles cut him off, put him on the top rope. Styles now with Low-key in a world of hurt, upside down in the turnbuckle with his left leg locked. Styles jumping forearm to the lower jaw of Low-key. A little bit of his own medicine. Low-key now reeling. Low-key in as much trouble as I have seen him here in Ring of Honor. Low-key may be in jeopardy of losing that title to AJ Styles. Oh, absolutely. And like I said before, whoever walks out of this ring with the championship belt tonight, everybody here at Ring of Honor can be proud of. Two unbelievable great athletes, two great professional wrestlers, two great men, AJ Styles and Low-key, fighting for honor here, the Ring of Honor championship belt. Ring of Honor is all about honor, Steve Corino. It's all about these type of matches. It's all about that knife edge that Low-key just hit. It's all about that knife edge that AJ Styles just hit. Both of these men exchanging hard rights, hard chops. Both men battling it out. Low-key with another one of those jumping side kicks. Very impressive due to the fact that he was on his knees, Steve, and was still able to elevate his right leg up to hit the back of the skull of AJ. Low-key now back up to a horizontal base. I'm sorry, a vertical base. Steve Corino. AJ Styles in a lot of trouble here. He needs to fight out of this. He needs to get back on track or this one's over. Is he going for the key crusher? Oh, into a brain buster. A dangerous brain buster there by Low-key. A man that studies the Japanese style so well. He's got it down pat, but he's got to get a little more energy if he wants to beat AJ Styles, because AJ Styles may be out right now.
As you see there, a little bit of a mistake by Low-key, who hesitated just a few seconds, and then when he did go for the pinfall, he did not hook the leg of AJ Styles. Steve Corino, I don't think you'll beat an AJ Styles like that.
Oh, absolutely, you can't beat.
He's going for the Phoenix Splash here, Steve Corino.
There he's gonna, he's hit it, but he got two knees to the stomach for his time. But Low-key instinctively goes to the ropes where he cannot be pinned. Look, he's draped his foot in the ropes. AJ Styles is gonna have to pull him back into the middle of the ring if he wants to take home the championship.
Low-key is a wounded animal at this point. Styles needs to go for one of those high-impact finishing maneuvers, and I think he senses just that. As Styles double pumps the brain buster, allowing more blood to flow to the head of Low-key. A very interesting technique. That double pump brain buster by AJ Styles hit the mark. Low-key is a wounded animal ready for the kill right now.
Oh, 2 count there. But you see, instinctively, Low-key tries to stay off his back. As AJ Styles was going to pin him, AJ Styles had to use a little more energy just to get Low-key on his back, but Low-key is now prone on his back, but he won't be there for long. You cannot hurt a guy like AJ Styles or Low-key. They just keep coming back and coming back, no matter how many times you kick him in the face, how many times you kick him in the ribs, how many times you give him forearms. These guys keep going! And I think AJ Styles may have just died in the ring.
Low-key right there, moving out of the way as AJ Styles was looking to finish off Low-key with a little bit of his own leg medicine. Low-key calculated the move, saw it coming, moved out of the way, and AJ landed right on his head, and another near fall right there. Almost had a title change, Steve.
No, we wouldn't have a title change. We would have had a title defense. Low-key's first title defense. AJ Styles, though, keeps looking for that title win. He wants to go home. He wants to go home to Atlanta with the ROH title. He's going for the kick crusher there. Small package. We could have a new champion.
Oh, 2 and 9, 10. Steve Corino, we almost saw the crowning of a new champion. AJ Styles beautifully blocked, and another series of quad kicks by Low-key, and Styles fights up, and he's had enough, Steve Corino. Styles absolutely unloading on Low-key.
Oh, beautiful, he's going for it. 2! Oh, unbelievable, that was real close. 2 count right there. Ref Hansen in perfect position, and the place is going nuts here at Wakefield. The Civic Center here in Wakefield, Massachusetts, they're on their feet right now.
The Americal Civic Center will never be the same after this night of ROH action, Steve Corino, as Low-key attempts to lock on the Dragon Sleeper, but he doesn't have it all the way applied, Steve. He doesn't have it on as tight as he wishes, and AJ moving the arm down so he can breathe a little bit better, a little more oxygen in the tank. Low-key hooking in the double underhook right there, trying to hit the suplex. Low-key up on the shoulders, looking to draw a lock in that Dragon Sleeper, but AJ blocking it beautifully, moving the head to the right so that Low-key cannot hit it.
Both these men, reversal. They know each other so well. And a great contest between these two. He's going for the Key Crusher here. He got the Key Crusher. He got him. That's it. We have a 3 count courtesy of the Key Crusher. And Low-key retains the ROH title. A great showing by AJ Styles. A hell of a match, Steve Corino. Donnie B, it looks like Ring of Honor has found another home here in the Boston, New England area. The Boston, New England area is now Ring of Honor turf after what this sold-out crowd has witnessed here tonight. And I've just been handed this. Ring of Honor returns right here back at the Americal Civic Center in Wakefield, Massachusetts on Saturday night, November 16th. If you want your tickets, go to ROHWrestling.com. There he is, the Ring of Honor champion, Low-key. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is Big 80's Donnie B for the King of Old School, Steve Corino, signing off, saying good night and God bless.
September 21st.
September 21st. I'm a man of my word. Xavier, I will be glad to fight you. The only thing that you can do is be ready.
Be ready for the all-around best.
How's it feel, Rudy? How's it feel to get taken out by the man that you claim to train? How does it feel, Rudy boy? Everybody knows that I went to the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy, not the Texas Wrestling Academy. And it's time for you to quit riding my coattails. It's time for you to get off my back. You're done, Rudy. You're finished. Simply luscious. You want me to join the Chris Daniels prophecy. Well, I don't think so. You see, Michael Shane doesn't need anybody watching his back. You guys don't want to follow the code of honor. Hey, that's fine by me. But to tell you the truth, I like shaking hands. I absolutely love it. Because if there's one thing that I have, it's confidence. I have confidence that when I enter that ring in front of a sold-out crowd, just like we had here tonight, that referee is going to grab my hand, raise it straight in the air in victory. And the man across the ring is going to have to look me dead in the eye, extend his hand to mine, and know that he's shaking the hand of the better man. Just like Paul London had to do tonight. Spanky, since day one, you and I have never, ever liked each other. It's always been Michael Shane, Spanky, Michael Shane, Spanky, Michael Shane, Spanky, who's the better man? And you want to run around calling yourself the new showstopper. Well, I got some news for you, my friend. Shawn Michaels' blood flows through my veins. And Spanky, soon enough, you're gonna find out just how pissed off I am.
We are Dunn and Marcos, and we are the top tag team in Ring of Honor, and we've been rocking the competition like a hurricane. And we are the top tag team in Ring of Honor. We are Dunn and Marcos, and we are the top tag team in Ring of Honor.